So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This is Matthew Bailey, and I have a lot of stuff to talk about today and this month, actually. This month being December. But of course, I can't do it on my own. I have to do it with my critiquing partner in crime, Ricardo Medina.
Hola. Hello.
Yes, and the show that I'm going to do it in, of course, is called Beers, Beats, and Bailey. So, yeah, it's been a good while. Actually, like a couple of weeks since I've done the last podcast. Just, things to do, Black Friday, work, and, more or less, we now reached
You have to be on set with something.
Yeah, that's a little shoot that we did a while back. So, yes, we are now in December. So, now, well, December for me is just the month where not only do I have to find time to watch my favorite Christmas movies, but also to try and catch up on the movies that I missed out this year, and also to recap or rewatch the movies that I loved before, but this year, but I only got to see it once. So this month actually is where I get to watch the good and the bad. Basically, yeah.
Yeah, well, so it's a bit of a dumb cliche, but everybody's favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard, and this will be the first without
one of that's my second favorite. My first one, without a doubt, A Christmas Story. That one is just hit me right in the heart, though. That one I could relate to so much.
Right.
But on the subject, go on.
It's the first without Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
So.
Come to think of it, we really should. Cause we were supposed to do a retrospect review last month. I think we kind of attempted it basically with FIFA Vendetta. But I don't see why we can't do a little Christmas thing. We could review Die Hard, The first one, of course.
Right.
I mean, I really enjoy the second one, but, the first one is the one that,
the first is the true classic, Drew.
Yeah. I like the second one. I like all the others except for 5, of course. 5.
Yeah, that's with me, For me, the first three, I like the first and second. The three was its own thing, and a lot of people actually like 3 more than 2. I can't say that in good conscience, but because 3 decided to do something interesting with it, and it was kind of clever with all the puzzles, and then Sam Jackson was nice in it, and
of course, and you really got that race against time feel. It really felt like the clock was ticking there. That one.
But then they did 4. 4 was a mess for me.
That was dumb fun, but I let it slide because it's John McClane and it's Bruce Willis. So I give it a pass.
4 was kind of a mess for me, and then 5 was just atrocious.
Yeah, 5 was terrible. That was on my worst stuff list for when it came out. I think it's 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like why that even exists is beyond me.
I don't know. And just what they do with his son, Judd, Jai Courtney. Oh Lord, I think that was the time when I started to hate Jai Courtney. From now, that's when it started. Oh Lord.
Anyway.
But like I said, on the subject of bad movies. So yes, I actually have to suffer through some bad movies because. Like that song from, Suicide Squad says, I'm a sucker for pain. Yes, I am. Okay. And in this very podcast here that you listen to right now, I'm going to talk about one particular movie, one that, a lot of people have been, rating as one of the worst for the year, and I believe it came out in January. Early January, actually. It's Norm of the North. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a quick rant.
That's total mess.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just...
Doing another animated movie, so just a compare and contrast of how extreme and how much you could royally fuck up an animated movie. Right, compared to what we're going to review later, which is Moana.
Of course, yeah.
Right.
So Norm of the North is going to come right after Moana. Yeah. Just early heads up.
I do a palate cleanse, and we should probably do Norm North before, just to get Moana as a palate cleanse.
Yeah, what do you think? Well, we could do it like that. We could do the Norm first and then Moana afterwards, I guess. But alongside those 2 shows, we're also going to talk about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. I finally got the chance to check it out. I know it came out a while back, but I finally took it in, and I also checked out. We actually took in Allied, which is the newest film from legendary director Robert Zemeckis.
Yes.
And we're going to close things off. We're going to get a little geeky here. We're going to talk about that crossover, man, that the CW was hyping up for months, and they finally unleashed it to the world, last week at the time of this recording. Of course, I'm talking about the Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow crossover that they did quite recently. So, Yeah, and it will be, spoiler-ish. Yes, it will be spoiler heavy with this one.
No, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we have to. There's no way we could talk
Yeah.
about that without spoiling it. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, but alongside those things, before I forget, well, you could start it off with this. There was some game trailers that came out last week, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw a few of them.
Okay, so two things. Well, it had the game awards.
Yes.
And then Sony had a full kind of running press conference with a lot of stuff that came out.
But if I could just stop you there for a bit, that Game Awards, right? Like, I didn't know much about that Game Awards going in, but a couple of people were saying something along the line of how Street Fighter 5, I think, how that suddenly won Game of the Year. They were like, what? How could that game win? Oh, so
well, it didn't win Game of the Year.
Well, what is it? What was it about that game in particular that had people going crazy?
What's that?
Something along with Street Fighter 5 or something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. The game that won Game of the Year was Overwatch.
Oh, Overwatch won. Okay. Sorry.
Overwatch is a class-based shooter in the same vein as Team Fortress 2. Although it's kind of like League of Legends a little bit, but everything is first-person shooter. So it's more comparable to Team Fortress 2. Okay. For me personally, Team Fortress 2 is easily one of my favorite games in the last 10 years or so. I probably put more time in that game than anything, probably in my whole life, actually, arguably. I have like over 2,500 hours of that game. Anyway, it's one of my favorite games ever, and this basically is a nice, like, new generation version of that. And the game is pretty damn good. I'll say skill ceiling-wise, it's not as good as Team Fortress 2, but it's still getting up there, and it had a lot of room to evolve. And a lot of people didn't really agree with it getting Game of the Year, in my opinion, but I don't see why not. I mean, it was easily the most popular game of the year. A lot of people love it.
From what I know,
very well received. In terms of numbers, if you see the numbers, well, like any other Blizzard game, it's an insane amount of player base, very, very big. And yeah, it just have a big relationship with the developers and the users. And the game is great. I personally just didn't have time to get into it, frankly. I don't know, I just couldn't find time, but I actually still, guilty, still find the time to play Team Fortress 2 a little bit ever so often. Mostly because it's at a kill time. But yeah, it kind of deserved the win in many ways. I can't really, big complaints. I know a lot of like gaming press and a couple like gaming critics will say, people sucking Blizzard dick and whatever. But it's not a big surprise, and it was just I kind of expected it to happen. Anyway, but for me, the Game Awards, the stuff that I get more hyped of was, well, 3 games. The sequel to Mass Effect, the 4th Mass Effect game, Mass Effect Andromeda. Okay. I'm a huge fan of the Mass Effect franchise, even though the 3rd game was a complete mess.
Yes, so I've heard by many gamers.
They really dropped the ball with the story. And it's not even just the ending, is it? People say the ending...
that's what I thought. I thought it was the ending that killed it.
Not just the end. The whole game was bad, in my opinion. Very little of it I enjoyed as a single-player campaign. However, the multiplayer campaign was pretty badass, and I actually, ironically, have the most amount of time playing Mass Effect simply because of the multiplayer. The second game I really had me hyped was Death Stranding, latest by Hideo Kojima.
Yes, I saw the trailer for that. I'm a
huge fan of Hideo Kojima. They showed a trailer, I think, E3 they showed the first trailer for it, I remember.
Yeah, with Norman Reedus. We talked about it before. Well, you did, but...
This new trailer, awesome. They had Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, of all people.
That was a nice surprise. Now, I knew Guillermo del Toro and Hideo Kojima were doing something together, so it wasn't too clear what they were doing, and I didn't really follow the scuttlebutt too heavily. But yeah, it was cool to see him in the thing, and then Mads Mikkelsen. Right. And Mads Mikkelsen basically playing, Metal Gear Caecilius in this time. He played roughly a similar character, looking like a kind of wizard, I'm not sure where's his power set or what his story is. And Hideo Kojima is one of those directors / game makers, and I actually put him more in the domain of filmmaker, and that's a kind of running joke with him. He's the kind of guy that all of his trailers and his material has this kind of mystery box style that you'll get from somebody like J.J. Abrams.
Right.
And you have no idea what's going on in the trailer, but it's really engaging and really well framed and well edited, and it's looking awesome. I just totally hyped for this game. I have no idea what it's about.
Neither me. I saw the trailer. I was like, I don't know what it is, but it looks incredible.
The trailer still have. The only thing it have one running theme of apparently men making babies or men taking care of babies in some way, shape, or form, or something to do with fatherhood.
Kind of intravenous thing with babies, some kind of thing going on.
Right. So it have a lot of baby something. Not sure.
Yeah.
Right. So if anybody who familiar with Tumblr would be familiar with the concept of mpreg. It's the freakiest thing you'll ever watch on Tumblr, but that is basically a lot of people making mpreg jokes. And yeah, that really had me hyped. And then the third game that had me really hyped is The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, which, believe it or not, I've never played the original one, so I saw this new trailer. I was like,
in my opinion,
this looks really good.
In my opinion, The Last of Us is nothing short of a masterpiece.
Wow.
It's a fantastic game. It's really, really well done as a story. The thing is, it's more narrative than gameplay, because the gameplay is not particularly impressive or inspired. It's good, but it's just to get forward in the plot. The plot and the characterization is 10 out of 10. It's a fantastic world, and they had a lot of great character development. The ending, for me, is one of the best damn endings I've seen in a show. It's a great post-apocalyptic sci-fi. For anybody who's not gonna play the video game or have any idea what it's about, if you see the new Wolverine movie coming out, it's very similar to that. Everybody started making comparisons to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they have a sequel, and I was like, whoa. Now, for me, The Last of Us was kind of perfect as is, so it made me really, really skeptical of even making a sequel for it. But that trailer was like, yeah, it looking like an interesting direction where they're going. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it, but from the spoilers if you haven't seen the trailer, Ellie is like on a revenge mission, essentially. She's one of the main characters from the first game. She was the little girl you had to protect as Joe.
Right.
And Ellie's character, well, we're not sure what happened, because it's unclear if the way they framed everything, it looked like it's possible that Joe has died because we're not sure how much of a time skip has happened, but it looked like about a good, I don't know, it looked like about 5, maybe 10 years, but it looked like about 5 years or so from the events of the first game. Ellie just on a revenge mission. She says she's gonna kill all of them. We don't know who's these people. And it's hinted that Joe might be killed. It's quite possible that Joe is dead in this. And because of the same people she wants to go after. Another thing, well, Ellie's character is gay. You learn that in one of the DLCs of the game.
Oh, really?
And it's possible that her lover is killed as well. So that's a possibility of a impetus for revenge as well.
Right.
So it's quite possible that be a story. So we're not sure. But it looks great. Initial trailer, I have no clue, and I'm very skeptical of making a sequel to a game that to me was more or less a perfect story as is. So what I suspect it might end up being like Portal 1 and Portal 2. Portal 1 to me was a perfect story, and then Portal 2 came along, not as good as the first, but was still pretty good on its own right. And it did its own thing, and I still thought it worked on its own way. So we could get a solid sequel. The people at Naughty Dog just, they don't fuck up. These guys always give us a good narrative. Even though a lot of the games kind of get long in the tooth, especially, the Nathan Drake franchise. So that's just my quick 2 cents on, all of these games. That's the 3 games I just got hyped for. Not a bunch of other trailers. I don't really care about those.
All right,
frankly.
The ones that I saw, actually, I saw it off of IGN's YouTube channel. So I saw the one that Uncharted.
Yeah.
Lost Legacy, I believe the name of it is.
That's the franchise I talk about. You see the Uncharted franchise, a little too many sequels, kind of getting tired of them. But still, every one of those games are quite good, so I can't really complain. It's not like they're making it and they're getting worse. They're still pretty solid. It's just, I'm kind of tired of Nathan Drake. A little bit.
I don't know. It's like they just want a movie out of this thing so bad, but it's like, you know what?
That's the thing, right? Exactly.
I know we had to wait till Assassin's Creed makes a ton of money. And be like, okay, now we can make that movie, and then we could stop making games.
I'm incredibly skeptical of Assassin's Creed, because if I didn't know how bad if I didn't expect Blizzard to fuck up Warcraft so badly. I was like,
how could I forget?
Right. So I was like, how, why somebody, a normal studio who don't know the material, gonna get it done right? So I was like really, really shocked at that. But I really I don't have any hope for Assassin's Creed. So the Nathan Drake franchise is basically a kind of slightly modernized version of Indiana Jones. It's Indiana Jones. It's the same character. It's done very well, and it's a little more salty than Indiana Jones, but it's still very well done. But I can't really complain, because all of those games are quite good. You can't say that any of the games were particularly bad. And at least, compared to Assassin's Creed, which had outright terrible games, Mass Effect, outright terrible games. Those games were still pretty solid for the most part. So, yeah, I expect that to be alright still.
Right. Well, all right. Well, this last couple of things I'll say about those trailers I saw on IGN. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not that much of a gamer. Actually, I haven't played games like video games in like a long, long while. Sue me, I know. But
Right.
for nearly,
What I recommend people to do,
yeah,
since you're not, just a quick tip but on the air, I kind of making it out. Since you're not gonna get into the PC stuff, I totally recommend, if
I'm not
anything,
going to get
a
into
quick
the
buy
PC stuff. I want to get into the PC stuff. I want to.
Then you had to spend a ton of cash. I mean, you had to buy a good graphics card and whatever.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I don't know. I would recommend just try to get PS4 Pro if you could. If you could get that, and then if you could get a 4K TV, just get that, and that's it. You should be alright.
I guess I'll consider it. But yeah, but just those trailers. Well, the ones that that IGN showed. Of course, they were showing actual footage from the event itself. I like for Last of Us 2 and Resident Evil and most of those games. I just love like how the audience was just reacting to it, but like especially for the Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. It was crazy.
Big surprise. So no one expected it to come true, and it was like, wait, when people hear the song opening, and then they show the little symbol for I think it was the Fireflies or the Resistance. I forget the name of the symbol because I haven't played the game in a while. And then when people saw that symbol, and I saw it, and I was like, oh shit, it's Last of Us. Oh shit, wait, Last of Us sequel. Everybody, that really shocked everyone, and it looked good. So
yeah, it did. And of course, the one for Dead Stranding. Wow, that was crazy.
When I saw Delta, I was like, oh, nice, lovely.
Yeah, me too. I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah, one time.
This game.
And then it really looks engaging. I mean, that world they're building, I have no idea what the hell going on. But say what you want about Kojima, the man, I just mentioned this before. Yeah, that shit looking just damn engaging. You really want to see what's gonna happen next. Like, what the hell this is about?
Dude, the man's a legend, right? He's like the equivalent of like what a Spielberg and Nolan. You want to see what he bringing next now.
Yeah, here's the thing with Kojima. He has his fair share of detractors, and it's for good reason, because I kind of look at the Metal Gear franchise in the same way. I kind of look at it as a kind of postmodern take on 20th century geopolitics. It's as if somebody with a massive post-traumatic stress disorder is telling the story of the 20th century geopolitics, and it's like a kind of Adam Curtis alternate reality kind of narrative. And that's what I love about that. So you if you look at it from that surrealistic standpoint, all the Metal Gear games are awesome, especially the third game. But yeah, I can totally see why people think he have head up your own ass, and it real pretentious and so on so. But yeah, I grew up with
gonna hate you.
Game since the first one.
Yeah, haters are gonna hate. That's how it is.
Right. But no, I still think he's very, very talented at telling a good story, at least in terms of image and shots and how to frame characters and this kind of stuff. He should totally be a filmmaker. He should have totally been a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just having this medium, of telling a great story through video games, dude, that's like amazing, dude. Like, yo.
Right.
But yeah,
but at the time when Metal Gear 1 was out, video games were still, in the doldrums of kind of, just kind of underground, still not particularly big. This was the mid-90s.
Yeah, or I would say, mash button, turn joystick kind of thing, and combos.
For him, he was kind of like that big breakout person to try to really put games on the next level. Now, he's one of those. And I have a massive amount of respect for the guy. He's a person that just get himself out there. He have a bunch of celebrity friends. He really want to make big shit. The whole thing with Konami that went down was just so much bullshit and so ridiculous. That and if you see what happened to Metal Gear 5 and you read up on that, all of that shenanigans, you'll realize how bullshitty Konami treat him. And he started his own company now, and I fully in support with him. I have no problem getting all his games as soon as I can. And yeah, I really on board with him. I'll support him to the end. He's a truly in my opinion, a really good creative mind that still has time to grow. He's not like, he has some age, but he can go away anytime soon.
Yeah.
He's still a lot of energy. He's still great in that sense.
Yeah, and here's hoping that he brings out some more great games. Well, I'm hoping that, Death Stranding turns out to be a masterpiece as well, too. A very influential game, I'm hoping. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really, really rooting for that game. Really rooting for it. I really want it to be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of non-Americans who managed to, change the world in terms of very creative, very influential stories, we have to jump into J.K. Rowling's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yes.
Yes. Which, which was actually written. Well, the script actually was written by J.K. Rowling. I was actually surprised by that. Didn't know.
Yeah, so all of the Harry Potter fans was kind of jonesing for more Harry Potter, and yeah, she kind of provided. So she just decided to do okay. It's from what I understand, it's the shortest book of all of them. It's like just as kind of general compendium. It wasn't really a book on its own. From what I understand, it was just like a compendium of the actual textbook itself, explaining all the beasts and how they work and so on and so forth. And then she decided to do the screenplay, just giving a narrative and the main character, the guy who wrote the book, which is the textbook.
Newt Scamander, yeah.
Yeah, and you see the textbook in Harry Potter. You see Harry Potter reading. I think it's the second or the third film, if I remember correctly.
I honestly can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of those. And I'm not a big fan of the books. I don't know which book it was in, but I remember seeing the textbook in the film. I was like, oh yeah, right. That was a thing, and they reference it. And I kind of like this movie. I thought it was okay.
Me too. I liked it, even though I'm not a diehard Harry Potter fan, but I still appreciate it too. So.
Right, and
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, alright, well, I'll just kind of run down quick as to what the story is about. I don't want to reveal too much. So, this story is actually based 70 years before the events of the Harry Potter, the previous, I believe it was 7, the previous Harry Potter movies. So, it's set in 1926. We are introduced to a British wizard by the name of Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne, who, by the way, I still don't understand how and why he won the Academy Award for Best Actor for, what was that show where he was playing? I forgot the guy's name.
He was Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, Stephen Hawking's Theory of Everything.
Yeah, Theory of
Everything. Which was a decent movie in retrospect, but I still don't understand how he could win for that. That was crap.
Oh, you don't like him in that?
No, I mean, no, his performance was good, but there were other better performances that could have somebody else could have won that, man. Come on.
I can agree with you, but when the old joke is that you don't go full retard, you just play retarded and you're good. And
yeah.
Even though he's not retarded, he had I forget what he had. I think ALS.
I think it was that, yeah.
Yeah, ALS. I think he had Lou Gehrig's disease. Anyway, yeah, once you play something akin to some cripple or something like that, yeah. And Stephen Hawking is a national treasure, so. For Bringland, so it's like, yeah, you can't go wrong now.
Yeah.
And the thing with it is just the story itself. I think that's why he win, because I actually think he's a really kind of fluctuating actor for me. Now, I actually liked him in this. I thought his character worked because the character was, you get it, what the character kind of remind me of? The character was kind of like, if you're familiar with a real life animal expert by the name of Temple Grandin.
No.
Okay, so I think she either fully autistic or suffering from Asperger's, but she understands animals now, and she understands how to design design slaughterhouses so cows to not suffer as much in the slaughterhouses.
Okay.
And she understands how animals work, and because the character really came across as basically like a kind of autistic or Asperger's character now. And I thought that's what they were going for, so that's why I kind of got from that now. In this, and so that's why I actually kind of like him like that, because I thought they were kind of going for the Temple Grandin character. Though. That's why I thought. That's why it came across, at least to me. But if you wasn't looking for that, this character would be incredibly annoying to you now.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really. I was more kind of thinking about the character in the way how he's kind of moving, reserved and stuff. Well, I'll get back into what the story is about, but the way how his character, works is that he doesn't say a lot. He says what he has to say basically, but you could tell that there's been a lot of stuff, a lot of hurt that he's trying to, to keep repressing it. But, every time somebody gets closer, even, if a particular character, I'm not going to say who tries to, mind read him, he tries to keep things away from that person. That's the character. Right. And that made him really interesting to me, I
got some of that as well from him as well. He just kind of shut himself off emotionally, but I find he was a little too shut off emotionally now, in my opinion. If you get what I'm saying,
I actually do see what you mean, because you're kind of hoping that maybe in the end he would have opened up a little bit more, Well, I don't mean smile or react, but
no, even simple interactions, you would think, all right, you're supposed to say something different, and he does really come across as a kind of autistic kind of character. That's what he came across to me now. Anyway. Go through the story. Yeah. Go through with Doc Who meets Pokemon.
Oh gosh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So Newt Scamander, not to be confused with Ash Ketchum, arrives to New York City because well, I'm not gonna say why exactly, but it has something to do with Arizona. He just needs to get there, and he has this
Right.
suitcase with him, and in this suitcase has a wide variety, of different magical creatures, most of which
Yeah.
you see. Well, some of which actually you see in the other Harry Potter movies. Although for the life of me, I can't remember them. 'Cause I only saw like some new ones and
Right.
whatnot. But anyway, so as you would expect in a big place like New York, the suitcase ends up in the wrong person's hands. That person
Right.
actually being one
The
second.
best character.
Yes, the best character
Yeah.
in the whole show.
I know, but yeah, because I was so shocked at what's his name, Dan Folger.
Well, yeah, Dan Fogler, who plays Jacob. Yeah, he's
was
actually
really
like this
shocked at
cannery
how good-
worker. Yeah, he's work at this
Yeah.
cannery factory, and he's
Right.
trying to make his way. He wants to be a baker. He wants to do something that he loves now, and then he just like runs into Newt's character, and then the suitcases are switched, and then of course it opens up, and all these creatures, or at least some of them,
Right.
escape, and one thing leads to the other, and that kind of reveals this deep dark creature that's been roaming throughout New York, killing wizards, and bringing fear throughout the entire city, because basically what's going on is that witchcraft has been banned. Witches have been forced to retreat underground and form their little society there, because if they reveal
Yeah.
themselves to the world, they could be prosecuted and killed. So now we have Newt and Jacob and two other characters as well too, both of whom are sisters and wizards as well too, and they all roped
Right.
into the situation where not only they have to capture these beasts, but there's have to stop this particular monster from doing
Yeah.
its evil stuff basically.
Right.
Yeah, but back to Dan Fogler's character, best character. I totally agree, but
Yeah. But the thing with Dan Folger is that I know him from like silly comedy movies that I just never take him seriously. Now he was in a movie I remember that was so much crap. It was so silly. Remember Balls of Fury?
I remember wanting to see it, and then when I saw the
Yeah,
trailers and all the jokes, I was like,
It was really
nope,
stupid.
nope,
It
no,
was,
no, no, no,
um,
no.
A ping pong movie essentially, starring I think what's his name, boy?
Christopher Walken was in it.
Yeah, Christopher Walken was in it. It was really, really like real dumb, like
Yeah.
really, really dumb. Like I never took him seriously from then, but he was so good in this. I thought he was so good in this. He was like really got into. He's like the only person who like really engaged in the script for me.
Yeah.
Like everybody else felt like kind of out it, but he was like real into it. And I was like, yeah, this is easily. I really want to see him get more roles after this.
All right, now
Because he does come
when you say out of it, because what I got from him is that he was like the character that the audience has to relate to. Like he doesn't know anything what's going on, and he has to be kind of
Right.
spoon fed, and he had to figure things out. So when you see that other
Right.
people, the other actors, what it is that they were trying their hardest
he-
to sound
be-
British
yeah,
or
he
wizards
just
or whatever.
brought- No, but to me, he just brought a great energy that he doesn't get from anybody else. I don't know. That's just me. He was the only.
I
Every
kind
time
of
he
get
was
what
on
you mean, especially if you compare him to like Eddie's character, Eddie's
right,
performance.
every
yeah,
time
'cause,
he was
yeah.
on screen, I was like, it had action sequences that was less engaging than when he was on screen. I guess he
we
just
will
talking
talk
stuff.
about the action in that in a bit, but continue.
Yeah, he had a nice little love thing going on with the what's your name, boy?
Queenie,
the-
who's played by Alison Sudol, who looked very, very, very attractive. I was like every time she was on screen, I was like, I don't know.
And
I was
it
just,
had
like,
a little
smitten.
it had a funny scene in a bar that was great with him.
Oh yes, yes, yes,
And
yes.
he was-
and
he was
also
great.
a brief appearance by near unrecognizable Ron Perlman. I was like, okay, this guy
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
familiar, but then when I saw the name, I was like,
It's not
oh,
even the
that
voice,
chin
though.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
The voice I didn't pick up, but the chin is like, yeah, that's Ron Perlman though. Oh my gosh, I didn't pick
Yeah.
up on that.
Yeah,
Yeah. But continue.
go ahead.
Yeah, but
No, you go ahead.
all right. Well, what I would say, well, the thing is, like, when I don't know, I have to blame it on the screen itself. But I find that the color scheme for it, like when I saw it, it looked really dull. It looked really gray and stuff. Lots of
Actually,
I don't
Yeah,
know, maybe
actually,
I
about-
guess that was the screen that I saw it, because like compare that to like the trailers that you would see online, and they look
Right.
so crisp,
No.
so well done. But I don't know what happened there.
I noticed that as well. But here's the thing: I don't know if it was the screen or if it was the glasses because I saw it in 3D.
Me too.
and-
I was wondering if it's the 3D effect that maybe
Yes,
that's
no,
why the
but
colors
here's
look
what
so
I
dull.
noticed. Here's
Yeah.
what I noticed. I took off the glasses, I just wanted to rub my eyes. I took out the glasses for 2 seconds, and then when I saw the screen, I was like, wait, looking brighter than normal.
Oh,
I put on the glasses, and everything was dulled out. Everything was dulled out, and just and then I noticed I turned the 3D glasses, and I've noticed when I turn it, it looking a little brighter. So I don't know what was that like. Is it the glasses? If it's the screen itself, I'm not sure. I think it just
don't
you have
know
crap
either,
glasses.
but you see now you got the same problem. I
Right.
would assume it's because of the 3D conversion. Maybe it has to do with that.
Something, yeah.
So maybe it's the actual video, or maybe it's the glasses.
I don't know because it was. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Because the story works with it every looking great out, especially with all the sequences when they reveal who the villain was.
Yeah, but
all
at
his
some point,
sequences.
I had others where I was like, okay, this is too much dull colors, man. I want to see some
Right.
brightness, man. I know, like with Harry Potter, the movies, you tend to get a lot of shadows and a lot of blues and earthy colors and dark colors and stuff. But every once in a while, you want to
Right.
see a little brightness now, and you do get that in the movie. But it's just that in those moments, it did kind of come off a little dullness. So I was kind of wondering if I was the only one who picked up on it. Apparently not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I noticed it. I noticed it as well, but I noticed it only because of the glasses. When I took off the glasses, everything was blurry, of course, but it was much more colorful. So I don't know what was going on there. Yeah, again, something they did on one of the layers in the 3D. I don't know. They did something.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but
so-
other than that though, I tried to kind of invest myself in the story, even though there were times where I was like, oh, these colors, especially the exterior scenes, like, oh, we still have this dull stuff. I don't know, and I was thinking, oh well, because it's a period piece, it has to look a kind of way, but no, it doesn't have to. It's
No, but that's the thing,
No.
because the story works just as well, because it's clearly more adult, but it didn't have to be like that. And I get a feeling they slip up somewhere in the production. I get a feeling it was an intentional choice, and then they couldn't turn back, and they wanted to do it here. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. And on the subject of that, you could kind of tell at some point in time there were, I wouldn't say clashes or whatever, but you could tell that JK was going a particular route.
Right.
But, the studios, well, of course, Warner Brothers wanted something else. And yeah, we could jump into the action sequences, especially like in the third act, where it just, like, I saw it and it was directed well, it looked really well and stuff, but it was still like, yeah, this is like just every other blockbuster movie I've
it was a
seen
sequel.
for the year. Same thing, same kind of, big flashy, sorry, not flashy, but big gigantic creature doing its thing and flying
Right.
up in the air and smashing down and big explosions and stuff like,
Right.
yeah. Been there, seen
Yeah.
that. But I don't know if it was intentional, if JK really wanted it like that. I don't know, but
Yeah, no, it was a CG fest. I was just noisy, and I
yeah, it
couldn't-
was. It was a little too much for me. Especially the
Yeah,
way
I
how
think
that creature itself was
But they had,
designed.
they had
Was
this
like,
one scene. They had this one scene where they had to get this like giant snake creature thing in a teapot. And
oh yes.
I thought that scene was terrible. It was
And it
it
had
was just
yeah, it had this one
characters
cringe-
wasn't engaged. You were just jumping around. Like you could tell there wasn't. You didn't. At no point you get any feeling that they in the same room with the CG animal.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I see what you mean. And
And it
had
didn't
this-
work. That was just they could have cut that. It was
Yeah.
just boring and didn't work at all.
And it had this one cringe-worthy shot of, although, like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not into the Harry Potter universe, I didn't get, this reason why that particular creature was into cockroaches. So it had this one shot where one of the characters grabbed a cockroach and threw it in the air. And it's this slow
Right, yeah,
shot
yeah.
of a roach in the air,
Right.
and they're trying to get into
Yeah, it was
that
dumb.
teacup. I was like, y'all not serious. Y'all not serious about that. I just supposed to be
No,
like,
yeah, it was
holding
kinda
my
bad. It was-
breath.
and the
No,
whole
that's dumb.
Yeah, the whole sequence was poorly edited as well. I thought that just didn't work for me. The main plot itself, well, the B plot and the A plot kind of tie in together quite well. I thought for
Yeah,
the most
it
part,
did.
the main villain character, I thought that was alright. I kind of get it. But for the most part, it wasn't that engaging.
Yeah,
Colin
I thought like how the payoff, especially with that villain, didn't quite work as well as it should. Like I
Right.
understand why it happened, but it's like, yeah,
Right.
well, it could have come with a
And
better
I didn't really
heading
care,
than that,
really
man.
care for the characters, and we knew it was going. We knew what was happening, but it didn't pull me in anyway. Colin
I
Farrell
think that's
and
because we
well,
didn't
spoiler-
spend time showing the villain. It was just like, yeah, he's there, he's doing that. Something gonna happen.
Right.
Something gonna happen. Oh, it happens now. Now what? Now
Right,
we have to
and then-
forget
then
about
they
the
do the-
beast and do this.
Right. And then they do the big reveal at the end there with who Colin Farrell turns into, which is a big spoiler.
God, yeah.
We're not gonna
You won't spoil.
But I kept off, and I was like, oh, he in this? Okay.
I would say this best cameo of
so
the year thus far, boy. Oh my gosh, best cameo.
Yeah, that's funny. Yes.
It wasn't funny. It was just like, oh, you in the show too, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
what else?
What they should have done to me, I find they could have made it. I frankly think they shouldn't have wasted time with that stupid plot in New York. I find it should have been about, what had to happen in Arizona. To me, it could have been about that, like him just traveling to the United States or something like that. And the whole Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, so they're going on a road trip looking for magical creatures. That would have been more interesting than this New York plot. I don't know.
Good point.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
That's to me what it should have been about, in my opinion.
It would have been more like Pokemon, but still, it would have stayed true to the title.
I was more interested in the beasts. I wanted to see Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, and we didn't really see that. We just,
you only got moments of it, and most of them are like played for like laughs and stuff. Like this one with the rhino or whatever it was that was in the Central Park. That was cool. But other than that, it was like this bigger story. So it's not like it could have been like Fantastic Beasts and something, like how is Harry Potter and this, and comparing the Harry Potter movies, Harry Potter and say Half-Blood Prince. You might wonder, okay, where the Half-Blood Prince coming in, and then when it's revealed into that, oh, that's what it is, or like Goblet of Fire, oh, that's what it is. This one is like you don't know, you're expecting a villain because it's Harry Potter, but it's like when you see it has nothing to do with the title.
But that's the problem I had. Instead of doing proper world expansion, they just decided to do more politics and more allegory for, I don't know, the Wizarding Universe is always allegory for misfits and people who don't fit into society, but they're special, really, kind of thing.
But what would it have been in this era, though? I was wondering.
No, it's kind of interesting, but like we already see all of that with the Harry Potter franchise. I wanted to see something different, and I really wanted to see this guy just run around, probably with a companion, Doctor Who reference, and just, we get to see the animals. We get to see really Doctor Who meets Pokemon, and we get to see that. We get to see him looking for these animals in all these places instead of just New York now. Yeah. I don't know. I still liked it. You're going to give it a rating?
Well, I'll just say this in closing. It does really... Well, you see those things that we kind of mentioned where they had to bring in this subplot about these other characters and, this wizard society and, the states and all that. It clearly is setting up for, another movie. And apparently we're supposed to have 4 more coming up. I believe it's 5 movies in total.
Because you'll get all of that shit I talk about.
Yeah, but for what it's worth, though, what I really appreciate about the movie is that for me, because last time I saw a Harry Potter movie was actually a double bill. I actually saw Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. Which I love, by the way. I love how that series ended, and that was like 4 years ago. No, sorry, 5 years ago actually. So I remember little from the original set of movies. But with this movie here, I didn't have to remember. Oh, this is what Dumbledore did then, and this is what Malfoy did there. I didn't have to think about all that. It was its own thing.
It kind of is not relevant largely. Because I think the only character who actually comes back is only really Dumbledore. That's pretty much it.
Well, they mention him really, and I like how they do that. That was real clever.
I heard they're casting for him as well.
Oh, so we gotta get okay.
A young Dumbledore.
That would be interesting. Well, a young Dumbledore. Okay, I thought he'd be like slightly younger, not too young.
Well, yeah, I was never too clear on how old Dumbledore was.
I thought he was like not decades old, but centuries old or whatever. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, so I wouldn't know. But apart from all that, David Yates, did his thing with this one, and yes, he has directed quite a number of Harry Potter movies. So he really fits. He really belongs with this franchise. I thought he did an excellent job with the direction and stuff. I love the music by James Newton Howard. He never disappoints, at least to me. The acting for the most part was great. Couple of characters you kind of wish you got more backstory to, especially like Colin Farrell's character. Like every time he's there, he does his thing, but I kind of wish I got a little bit more out of him now.
No, but it had nothing to get from, because it's like with the big reveal with him, it's like, oh shit, it's like, oh, this really probably happened to them then. Alright, cool.
Yeah.
So you need to know the backstory because, it wasn't kind of relevant by the end there, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah. And what else? And Eddie Redmayne's character was great as well too. Although there were a few moments where I was like really trying to understand what he was saying, and not just because of his accent, but just the way how he delivered the lines, because of the character, that sort of sheepish, shy, kind of introvertedness that he has. It worked, but at the same time, it's kind of like yeah, you can repeat that, please. The other performance was great. We didn't mention Catherine Watterson, who plays Tina. I thought she was great as well too. She played that kind of character where she wants to be taken seriously, but because she doesn't look like she has the chops to be a wizard, they kind of look down on her. And just that comparison between her and her sister, Queenie, who I absolutely was smitten by the way. I thought that was a great comparison as well too. I like that she had that sort of 20s charm to her. The way how she acts is kind of like those characters that you see from those old school movies from the 20s, well, based on the 20s.
The flapper look.
The flapper, right. And of course, we haven't really mentioned the beasts themselves. I thought that for the most part they were well designed. The creature design was well done. I really love the I think it's the Niffler, I believe it's called, that platypus creature that was snatching all the jewelry. That was like my favorite beast. That was my favorite.
It was decent enough. I thought some of the designs were a bit uninspired because they just look like animals with slight changes. I thought they would have come a little better with some of these ideas, but it still
like the rhino, for example. The only thing that going for it is that it has some glowingness going on in the face, in the mouth, and that's it, really.
Well, here's the thing. I got the sense that they tried to. I don't know what the direction they decided to go with it, but I got the sense that it's just animals like normal, but they have they're just tapping into magical powers because they still do magical things for the most part.
Which makes sense actually when you think about it.
Right. So I could accept that to a certain extent. And
you shouldn't have brought their way to create some great big creature that nobody ever think of before. It's not necessary. I don't think so.
Right, but and then my science brain started kicking in like, well, how does evolution work with this, and how does biology work here? And probably
no. Don't even think about that. No, yeah.
Right.
All right. So rating wise, for me, I would give this light 4 to 5 stars. It is definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a diehard Harry Potter fan. You should go and see this. But if you're not, and you're really curious as to what this show has to offer, by all means, give it a look. You'll have fun with it. It is dark at times, as you would expect from a Harry Potter movie. A little too dark at times, but other than that, it's one that you could carry the family and, they'll enjoy it. If they don't really understand the B story, at least they will like seeing the creatures on screen. And altogether, it was a fun, decent movie. So, I don't really have any that much, things to complain about, but other than that, decent movie. So, check it out if you get a chance.
Right. I give this a movie tongue. Just a straight movie tongue. I really enjoyed it. I had fun with it. But it had its issues. And, again, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, so I'm not going to bat for it any big solid way. But yeah, to me, it was solid business. Especially if you're a Harry Potter fan, you'll enjoy it. So yeah.
And in closing, though, I really love the fact that J.K. Rowling was, not just, it's based on my book, but she was writing that script. I thought that was a great idea. And I hope that she writes, honestly, yes. I hope that she does write the other 4 screenplays for the next 4 movies and not, really give it to the hands of somebody else, because I don't think they would do it justice as, she would. She brings that credibility and creativity and, just imagination. And I just hope that she stays on board for the others. And, yeah, that's pretty much all I could say about Fantastic Beasts. So moving along from the 20s, now we're going to get to the 40s. Yes, the good old 40s. With Allied. Yeah. Directed by Robert Zemeckis. Last movie I believe he did was Flight, which almost made it to my top 10. I believe it was 2014. Yeah, Flight. He did that. Yeah.
No, but that was his last movie?
I believe it was. Well, the last movie I saw from him.
He didn't do the one with
he did, he did the Walk, which I did not see. You saw it. You reviewed it, but I haven't seen that. So that's how I ended up forgetting it. And of course, he also made some excellent movies such as Polar Express, Forrest Gump, of course, Back to the Future, the trilogy. Although,
Yeah.
in my honest opinion, 1 and 2 will always be the best. Third one was, but
Right.
the trilogy was great all the same. And, a movie that we kind of made comparison to last time with Arrival, Contact.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And in this one, believe it or not, there's no Tom Hanks. He's not in this one, and no Denzel Washington. Instead,
Right.
we have Brad Pitt.
Right.
Yes, who's going back into World War II again for the third time in a row in his career, actually.
Right.
The last two being Inglourious Bastards and Fury.
Right. I actually really like this movie.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun with this movie. It was.
You had a lot of fun.
It felt like, it felt like this movie felt like a really awesome Casablanca fan fiction.
I love how you put that together. Casablanca fan fiction. Okay, yeah, a lot of people make a comparison to Casablanca, but fan fiction, dude, that's where you hit the nail on the head right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also had a lot of Hitchcockian. Everybody say Hitchcockian. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I was watching, I was thinking, of course, Notorious, 1946. Classic Alfred Hitchcock movie with Cary Grant. I almost say Clark Gable. Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman. Sorry.
Right.
And and this is one thing I just want to mention too, because I want you to actually kind of run down what the show is about, but just that word, that category of thriller. Now, if you compare, like movies like Psycho and what's the other show? The Birds and North by Northwest. Those shows are like the Hollywood version of like what Hitchcock was doing with movies like Foreign Correspondent, which came out in the 40s as well too, and Notorious. It's a different type of thriller. It has thriller elements where it's like, oh, is this character gonna get caught? Is this person to be trusted? That kind of thing. It's more like that. It's more like, is he or is she trustworthy or not, or who's getting closer. It's not like some kind of lavish action sequence or anything like that. I know a lot of people going and are gonna see the word thriller applied to this movie here, allied, and then they're gonna be like, well, where are the thrills? It's a different type of thriller. It's more along the line of the like those two shows that we mentioned before, Casablanca and Notorious. It's 40s kind of thriller. It has that 40s style kind of thriller element to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people have to go in knowing that, or else they're going to be very disappointed by this.
Yeah, I just wanted it to work. I just liked it working from the standpoint of just characters learning and figuring out each other, trying to outsmart each other. To me, the script just worked in that way, and it really felt like a 40 script.
Yeah, it did. And credit to Robert Zemeckis and his team for, really going out of the way to make this feel as authentic as it could. But I'll talk about that later, but continue.
It does pander a bit to film nerds like me a little bit. But it totally was that?
And me too, come on.
Yeah. And it does I thought it worked in that sense. But the thing is, why I thought it really worked is that it was a good love story. That's actually, I wasn't going in for that, because I thought it would just be this and just be that. And then when they do the big reveal, which they kind of sell out in the trailer, but when that big reveal came, I was like, oh, that's really awesome. Because it wasn't really so much the reveal itself, but how it played out now. It's not so much, I kind of saw that coming, that first part of what was the big reveal. But then when they explain how it worked out and how it was even possible for that to happen, then I was like, oh, great. That was where the engagement and the story worked. And the characterization worked. Brad Pitt was pretty damn good in this. His character.
And then Marion Cotillard, she was fantastic as well.
Even though I like Brad Pitt in this, and clearly he's trying to go with a his name's slipping away right now. Casablanca star himself. Crap.
Humphrey Bogart.
Right, Humphrey Bogart. Yeah, he clearly was trying to channel Humphrey Bogart in this movie.
You find so, because Humphrey Bogart in that movie was more cynical. He was more like of all the enjoyed to all the world. He's like, well, you know the premise of the movie already, where
Right.
you
No,
know he
but
fall in love with this
his,
woman and like, you know, I
face,
don't want to trust nobody. That kind of way. Every man for himself. That was
but
that was.
the face, is just, it's not the character, it's not the character's written, just as Brad Pitt as acting. His face was
Okay.
dour, and he tried to get kind of straightforward, dour face that kind of to me was looking like Humphrey Bogart at times.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And then here's the thing, he was good in this, and she acted circles around him.
Of course.
And you get the feeling that not only her character was smarter than him, but you see how her character is more like both off screen and on screen. She was smarter than him the entire time, and I thought that worked quite well.
Yeah. And I would say this one time, if the Academy is looking for a reason to nominate Allied Best Actress for her, she has to get a nomination for this one. She killed it.
If any. And then the thing is, the film remind me of, you know what I call the two-parter film, which is you do one part and then you do a second part, and it's like, oh, you think the movie could easily end here or stop right there, and then it'll have just a quick ending. No, that's where the movie starts. So they do decide they have a good long opening sequence until they have to do this mission. They complete the mission, and then that's where the movie starts. Similar to say Gone Girl or how Room was,
right?
Where, you know, it had a first part. Movie could have easily ended there. You know, a lesser filmmaker would have said, all right, we could just end it here with this bullshit and then move on. And nope, they just do a second part of it with the second part of the narrative, and that's where it get engaging. And they do a good job with the narrative.
Yeah.
I only had one problem with plot.
Well, before you get into plot though, you just want to kind of run down for me what the story was about, just briefly.
All right. So, Brad Pitt's character, I'm forgetting names right now. Brad Pitt's character is he's a Canadian spy.
Yeah, his name is
right?
Max Fatan, actually. Max Fatan.
Right. Right, and he goes into, which was kind of cool that they decided to do a Canadian spy instead of American spy, but it make more sense because Canada is part of the British Commonwealth, or at least still then. I don't know if they still are. They probably still are.
Yeah, and they could have a reason for him to talk French, which he had to do. And he did it quite well, actually.
They did a good job with that whole thing, because she kept making a joke about him being from Quebec, even though he's not. Yeah. And they did, he has to go and do a mission and meet up with another spy, but he couldn't get clear information about an earlier mission.
Right. And her name is Marianne, by the way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. And they were hiding out. They had to do a mission in Paris. Sorry, not in Paris, in Morocco. And they did the mission, and then they leave. Mission done. They decide to life go on, and then then there's a big reveal about her. Don't want to sell it out because that's like the movie. Even though the trailer sells it out, I don't want to say what it is because I want your brain to forget. Because the movie totally works if you're going blind.
Yeah, it does. But you have to mention too that yes, they do start this romance, and I'll just mention this quick. This movie has probably one of the most memorable sex scenes you'll ever see for this year. Basically, Brad Pitt and Marianne Cotillard inside of this car during a sandstorm in the middle of the desert.
Right.
Just think like Titanic, really well but just really, I don't want to say over the top, but just like, oh my god, you just glossing the scene over, by oh my god. But it works. So it works in relation to what's going on.
In my head, I was like, you just always forget like how you had a setup how to shoot in a car. So I was like, hey, where exactly the camera is? Like, okay, cool. And you're not sure where they was doing with that. I was like, oh, great. And at the time I was asking, hey, where's the camera exactly? How are they doing this? Because I thought that was pretty well shot. That's quite competent. Again, Robert Zemeckis is a very competent speaker.
Yeah, and that's another thing about him, and I even noticed it even with the opening shot of it, which was fantastic, by the way. How he manages to utilize CG into, natural looking shots. So I won't reveal what the opening shot is, but it kind of shows that it looks that kind of way. It looks like, oh, is this real or is this CG? But it's so incredibly done. It's like, oh, you kind of buy into it. And same thing could be applied for that scene with the car that I just mentioned. And also, what probably the best birthing scene you could say, pretty much. Yeah, delivery scene. I've seen in a long while though. Yeah. Where she gives birth during this raid, basically.
I had one big issue. I have a slight issue. The plot is mostly a character issue, and that's part of it. And even though I really enjoyed this movie, that part of the plot just still didn't really work or make much sense to me. But I suppose I could let it slide because everything else in this movie was so good in my opinion. There's this great scene with Brad Pitt's character having to shuffle a deck of cards. I love that scene.
Oh yes. That was great.
Yeah, because it's such a classic kind of psych out scene because it totally reminds me of the accent scene in Inglourious Basterds. Yeah. Same kind of, Germans having to suss out spies or suss out traitors or something like that.
Yeah.
So I love that. And yeah, when the second big part of the story, that's when the story really picks up. And then the ending is really, really tragic and really well done. I really like this movie. I thought it was quite well shot, good characterization. I had one little issue with the plot, well, mostly to do with her character and what, the motivations of said character. But yeah, for the most part, I really, really enjoyed this. I wouldn't go as far as saying any kind of best of the year or anything like that. But I just thought this was really, really good too.
Alright, well, what I would say about this before we get to our ratings, I enjoyed the film. I appreciated what they were trying to do. I did not expect that they were going to try the 40s romance war thriller, aesthetic, but, I really appreciate what Zemeckis and his team did for that. The acting as well too, really tried to personify that as well too. So, much props to Brad Pitt and of course Marianne who kills it. I really hope that she gets nominated for this one. I'm not sure if she's gonna win, who knows, but I thought that she was fantastic in this one. The rest of the cast were great as well too, although they were.
I do think it's.
Yeah, the rest of the cast.
Think it's possible she'll get a nomination.
Yeah, the rest of the cast was fine too, although they weren't really that much standout characters apart from those two, and you could kind of understand that because it's about them. Couple of issues though, just with the narrative itself, the pacing I thought was a little slow, and it could easily, and this is like the main issue with it with me, for me, is that you could kind of argue, oh well, it's trying to be old school, and this is how these old school thrillers are, these films are, they have these moments, downtime and dialogue and stuff, but there are a few moments, like there's one scene where Brad Pitt is, about to meet his superiors when he finds out that big, reveal that we won't reveal here. And you see the shot of him walking down this long flight of stairs, this, winding flight of stairs, like, yeah, just cut that scene, get to the next thing. You see walking down the hallway, okay, cut the next scene. It just moves at a slow pace.
I cut the hallway, but not the flight of stairs. I thought that was a good shot.
Like, I get what they're trying to do there, but it's like, yeah, kind of pick up, please. Come on. Let me get to the reveal here. Let's get to that. And and pace it well. Okay, leading up to the reveal was interesting as well too. The chemistry between Brad and Marion was excellent as well too.
Yeah.
Almost, art imitated life, but that's a whole other story. But I thought that they were excellent on screen. Just the pacing, I find, was a little issue. There were moments that kind of dragged a lot for me. And there were points where I was like, okay, this is kind of playing out like a little conventional kind of thriller, like how I mentioned with Notorious. Is she gonna get caught? Is he gonna be found out or whatever? Okay, and then I was thinking to myself, oh, okay, I see what they're gonna do here. All right, are they gonna end it like this? Are they gonna, is it gonna be happy ever after? And then the end just came and hit me. I was like, wow, I'm so glad I did that. It was crushing, like soul crushing. But I was like, I am so glad I didn't do that. I am so glad I didn't cop out for the happy ending. That ending that they did for Allied worked so perfectly. Although like the last couple of moments were, it had a little cheesiness with, kind of melodramatic nature of it. But other than that though, that ending is what redeemed the whole movie for me. So overall though, I enjoyed it. Not as much as I wanted to, unfortunately, but I do appreciate the craft and the art and the the effort that went into making this thing really feel like a legit old school,
it was, I just,
warm,
I just enjoyed how well polished it was.
Yeah, I really wish that if the pacing was a little tighter, the narrative was a little tighter as well too, it could have been better. I could have put this as a top 10. But, for now, I would, rating-wise, I would give this a strong 3.5 to a light 4. It is worth checking out, but you have to go in knowing that this is not going to be this full-blown romantic movie. This is not going to be this full-blown war movie or a thriller. It's, just an amalgamation of all three of these genres. And, going in, if you go in knowing that and it's going to be just like those old school movies, and you're going to enjoy this movie. But if you really couldn't care less for Casablanca, and I don't know why, because it's like a classic, come on, or you don't care for like Notorious, if you're still a fan of, Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard, then you'll enjoy this movie for sure. So, Ricardo, what's your rating for this one?
Right, I give this a low IMAX. I actually really enjoyed this movie. Solid business. I just had a couple. Just that plot issue I had with it, that was just bothering the hell out of me. But it's not like a big problem. And yeah, again, it wasn't like so super engaging as Arrel was loving it. But I just really appreciated it. Just solid, competent filmmaking we get. Solid damn film. Pretty good.
It's because of Zemeckis. Zemeckis is who really holds this film together, though. And he did a great job, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's well directed, well acted, and just across the board, it's a pretty damn fun film. Yeah. Well done. They make the acting work, and they make the characters work. And it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, man. So, and like I say, once again, props to Brad Pitt. It's really straying away from the pretty boy, label that he had to hold on to for the longest while. But I was really wondering if this would have been the show that he would have get that Oscar nomination, and I don't really see it for this one. Unfortunately, yeah. Shame though. I really would have liked him to be nominated at least.
Yeah.
I think he was nominated before. I believe it was for 12 Monkeys. Way back when, yeah. And that is arguably one of my favorite.
The problem is that the only problem is that you can't. If she'd have tried it, with respect to Oscar and the usual shenanigans you have to use to engage in to get the awards. Unless, I can't see any other. I'm not sure what other big female roles have this year. And it's quite possible she could get for best lead, but the problem is it's like if I were to make the better gamble, I'd go for best supporting, but she is a lead, so you can't get around that now.
Exactly.
But usually what people will do, they'll overshoot their role just to get the Oscar now.
Yeah. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if Amy Adams gets nominated because of, we haven't seen Nocturnal Animals, and unfortunately we're not going to get it down here this year because we suck.
Right.
But I have a feeling that she might get nominated either for that or Arrival. For Arrival. Either that or Arrival.
For the space aliens now.
Arrival, like I said, yeah.
Arrival,
I have a feeling she could get a nomination for that or Nocturnal. I just have a feeling she'll be there. That's my point. That she will get a nomination next year. But who knows? We'll see. Live action. Now we're gonna get into animation.
Boy.
And I really wanted to start off with the better movie, but my critic and partner in crime insisted that I start off with the terrible movie first, and then
actually, frankly, since I shouldn't even talk about it, but whatever.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned at the beginning of this recording here, December is the time where I tend to catch up on movies that I missed out. Either I didn't have the time to see it, or I just heard bad things about it, and I would not have wasted a single cent on it. So, me just rocking back, just wait till it comes out online so I can watch it, and just be so grateful that I didn't spend hard-earned cent on it. Of course, I'm talking about Norm of the North.
Okay. Bad rubbish.
Yes.
See it.
With our favorite Z-list comedian, legendary, of course, Rob Schneider as Norm. he is this not a polar bear actually, but he is this bear. Sorry, he is a polar bear. My bad. Oops. Yeah. Um, the son of the king of the Arctic. And what happened is that that particular king of the Arctic, I believe is Bill Nighy, who plays that character. Yes, they got some big actors for this. Sorry, I made a mistake. Actually, Bill Nighy plays Socrates, who is this bird, this kind of wise old bird who kind of guides Norm in his mission. But anyway, this is me trying to make this movie sound bigger and better than it actually is. So the story in a nutshell is that Norm is living in the Arctic and he can speak English, but everyone in the environment that they're in speak perfect English. Yet when they come across humans and the humans talk to them, he is the lone character who talks back to them, and they're like, oh, he speaks English. How is that possible? Ah! So they never explain how he's able to do that, even though we hear these animals talk English. But anyway, so there's this one particular guy. He's this land developer. His name is Mr. Green, played by Ken Jeong of all people. And his grand scheme is that he wants to build houses in the Arctic. I want you to process that for a minute. He wants to build houses in the Arctic. And the funny thing is, we know the Arctic and the winds and the how we know how bad weather-wise it is in the Arctic. But in this movie, you don't see no snowstorms, you don't see no heavy breeze or whatever, or snow. You don't see that. You're just seeing ice. That's all you're just seeing. Ice, and anybody can just stroll through, just come by boat, walk along, everything is all fine and dandy. There's nothing wrong, there's no danger, whatever. Right, so Norm observes this guy who just builds this house, this really crappy looking house, if you could call it that. And he says, you know what, can't have this guy coming into our home and doing this shit. I have to go and let the world know that what this guy doing is wrong. So, along with 3 Arctic lemmings, well, that's the movie equivalent of the famous minions from the Despicable Me series. Right. Who I was never a huge fan of, to be honest, because I get these sort of pop culture jokes and references that they make, but it's just like, maybe for like a minute-long sketch, I would have laughed and really enjoy them, but not for a movie. And no, I haven't seen Minions, and I don't want to. So, moving on. Norm and these 3 lemmings basically just head down to New York. They're running to this lady. Her name is Vera, played by Heather Graham. When the last time you ever heard of her? Who just so happens to be working for Green. And Norm joins Mr. Green's campaign, and the gimmick is that this is a polar bear that can twerk. Yes, I'm not gonna say how it happens, but Norm, I'll just reveal it. So this one chick had like an iPod and whatever, it just fell while she was talking to him. So he just took it and started listening to music, and it's like this real like really shitty EDM music. So he's like real dancing to it and stuff. So some humans see it and take pictures about it. It's like, oh, look at this polar bear who's like twerking and shaking his ass. Oh, now in New York, so Mr. Green is trying to get like these approval ratings because he wants to get this project on the ground. He has these group of businessmen who not really, who are a little skeptical about this whole plan about building houses in the Arctic, because it's building houses in the Arctic. So he uses Norm basically as this kind of like a not a guinea pig, but just like this mascot basically for the company. And just all these different shenanigans that I won't get into, because the more I talk about it, the more it sounds like the story is trying to make sense. But see, this is the first problem with the movie, is that it has this really convoluted plot that makes no sense. Right off the bat, a man is trying to build houses in the Arctic just because. Makes no sense.
Right.
And then you're pitching this whole movie as this is for kids. So all this talk about real estate and building houses, that's just gonna fly past their heads. Because all they just want to see is just cute characters, cute animated characters on screen, talking and cracking jokes and just doing their thing. Like Despicable Me, for example, like I mentioned. Like the Minions, for example. But here's the problem: the animation from start to end sucks. There is little to no detail in anything. From the backgrounds, from the article that was describing, you don't get a sense of, yeah, this is believable. I could really believe that this is like the Arctic. Like I could say what I want about the Despicable Me movies, comparing them to like Pixar. But even their movies put detail into like the backgrounds and stuff. And of course, we can't even talk about Pixar because they put a lot of effort into that. But this movie, it just really looks and feels like this is like a TV show. And from what I've heard, this was supposed to be like a direct-to-DVD movie, a direct-to-video. But this one is like a direct-to-TV movie that I'm watching here. It really does feel like some Nickelodeon TV show I'm watching here. That's because of how, slapped up these visuals look. Like, you're kind of rushing this thing to be put out every single week. So it doesn't look like they put a lot of time into it. But you're telling me that for like, 88 minutes, I am just watching this really crappy animation in the form of a movie. I'm supposed to buy into this. And even right down to the characters themselves. Like, nearly every polar bear looks the same. And it's this kind of blocky kind of design that they do. So, yes, there's no detail into the fur. Like, even when they're running, the fur doesn't even move or anything like that. It just stays still. And speaking of trying to figure out who is who in terms of the polar bears, right? You have this female bear that's supposed to be Norm's love interest, but unfortunately you only see her like in 3 scenes throughout the whole show. You wanna know how this movie distinguishes her as being female? She has big eyes. Like that. Yeah, she has big wide eyes and eyelashes. That's it.
Okay, yeah.
That's the closest to characterization they give her. Everybody else looks the same. They still have the green eyes and they still have the build and all that stuff. But you wouldn't know that it was a female there if you didn't hear her talk. And you do hear her talk. But like I said, she's only there for like, 3-4 times in the movie. And that's it. But let's talk about Rob Schneider. He does... I wouldn't say he was terrible in the show. But, because the whole script is bad, you can't really expect him to work miracles with this one. So it's kind of like he just said the lines, he just did it the way he was supposed to, but because the script was just so incoherent and bad, you can't really blame him for it. It's just that the script was terrible, and the voice acting, the voice actors just tried to do as much as they could with the characters, but because the characters were so thin and one-dimensional, there's really so much you could do. And just one slight little nitpick with the show as well too. Just a little minor little thing before I get to my rating. Now, I know sometimes with animated films, right? Especially when you're doing female characters, some animators tend to exaggerate the features of the female anatomy, right? So you always tend to have female characters with wide hips. So imagine nearly all of the women in this show just like that. With like incredibly wide hips, big asses and stuff like that. So, I don't want to go out of my way to say that, the creators were like sexist and, this is how the female, figure looks like and all that. But, oh gosh, man, you're telling me every single female character in this movie, every adult female character in this movie has to have wide hips. I don't know, it just kind of took me out of it. Like, really, you have all of them looking like so unnatural like that, like really, come on. And all of them like basically white, so you have this one black female character you could kind of understand because duh, but oh gosh, every other adult female character in this show have to be like that. I mean, come on. But that's just a minor nitpick. But overall, because I'm just getting tired talking about this show, yeah, this is hands down the worst animated film I have seen this year. And you hear me chuckling right now, but dude, watching the show, I didn't laugh once, I didn't smile once, I didn't chuckle once. When I saw the lemmings, I just wanted to pull a gun to my head and shoot, pull the trigger. These lemmings are annoying. They have a scene where they're just standing over, they're actually standing on like the edge of like a fish tank and pissing inside of the fish tank. And they're like fishes inside this tank, and they just like pissing for like about 45 seconds of them just doing that. Why? I don't know. Nothing in this movie works. The animation sucks. The music was just so slapped on. It just didn't make any sense. It was just there to, try to sound edgy and, modern, a kind of pop kind of thing. It just didn't work. When they tried to go for emotional moments, it didn't work at all. Like, yes, this is subplot where Norm is trying to find his father, who, the king of the Arctic that I mentioned before, and they try to make it so emotional. Like, yes, they have to get back home, and is he gonna die? And no, he's alive. Come on, it's obvious. And I can't really say anything else because I'm just like, I'm just going crazy just thinking about this. So yeah, 0 out of 5. One of the worst movies of this year, hands down. This is gonna be my top 5 right now. This was an absolute waste of time, but I knew that going in. That's the thing. But I just wanted to see how bad it was. But this was incompetent from start to end. This did not put any effort into the story, into the animation, into the characters.
Right.
Nothing worked. So yeah, skip this at all costs. Don't watch it unless you're like me and you're a sucker for pain and you just like to watch bad shows. So you could go and tell your friends, hey, don't watch this movie because it's terrible. I think that's the only reason why I would recommend that anybody watch this show. Or better yet, why anybody would spend $10 and buy this movie on Amazon. Just to see how bad this movie is and just to tell people, yes, don't watch this movie ever. Do not watch this movie. So yeah, top 5. Definitely my top 5 worst stuff of the year. That's all I have to say about Norm of the North.
Alright.
Yeah, so palate cleanser time. Or if you have anything else to say about it, or why you skipped it in the first place.
Once I hear Rob Schneider, I was like, yeah, he have the kiss of death. So I was like, I staying away from that project. I didn't expect him to do anything interesting at all. It's a colossal waste of time. So whatever.
Yeah, and last thing I just want to mention as we talking about Rob Schneider. Lionsgate was behind this movie. I still don't understand.
Yeah.
If this was Amazon, if not Amazon, if this was Netflix, I don't understand. Because of what I said before with the do-over and that True Memoirs thing that I reviewed before with Kevin Smith and I would understand it like that. But Lionsgate though, and a theatrical release, nah, forget this movie. Forget.
Yeah, rubbish.
Yeah, palate cleanser time now. We're going to talk about Moana. So while I catch my breath and try to remove all facets of Norm of the North out of my head, because I'll leave it to you to kind of start off on Moana, what you thought about it, what the premise was about, and then I will jump it.
Right, so I really like Moana.
Me too.
This was, so basically it was based on Hawaiian/Polynesian folklore.
Right.
Something along the lines. So this character played by Rock, character called Maui, decides to steal some. I forget what it was, the heart of life. I forget exactly what
it was a goddess, an island goddess called Fiti, and it was her heart in particular. So he wanted her heart that he could use to create life. So he, once he has this in his possession, he can do whatever he wants.
This Maui character is kind of like the Greek version of. He's kind of like Prometheus, if anything.
Yes.
Like that.
Good comparison there, by the way, because I was getting that sort of Greek god vibe. I was trying to remember which god it exactly was, which character.
Right. And then he causes like this kind of somewhat a kind of curse and a kind of cancer to start spreading along the world. And Moana now she becomes the chief in charge of her village, and she has to go solve the problem. That's basically the impetus of it. She has to find Maui and go back and return the heart to the goddess.
To the same island goddess, yeah.
Same island goddess, right.
Yeah.
That's the story.
And kind of like what happened is that they do meet up and they are on this is it a raft?
No, they meet up on an island.
Yeah, they meet up on an island, but they spend like the second act of it on this boat, or I would say it's a raft basically, or whatever. Yeah, and it's just that relationship between the two, how because at first of course they don't really get along, because Maui is so self-centered and so, I wouldn't say stuck up, but he's he thinks that the world revolves around him basically. And,
he's a selfish dude.
Yeah, he is. And Moana is like just focused on getting the job done. She wants to, save her village on the island, and it's that kind of back and forth that really adds a lot of depth into this movie. Yeah. But thoughts on the movie? What do you think about it?
Yeah. So I really, really like this movie. I thought almost everything across the board was quite good. Um, Music, awesome.
Yes. The
Love song,
songs,
all songs
love
catchy as
them.
hell.
Oscar worthy, yes.
Especially rock song,
Oh, you're
Maui song,
welcome.
but
I love that song. That
yeah,
was
yeah,
nice.
excellent song.
Yeah,
This animation, great.
of
The only
course.
problem with this, we could get into all of that, but I'll talk about that a little later. But basically, it was just generally well done across the board for me. But I'll say, yeah, to just address the only big issue, and it's a kind of a big problem. Some issues in the plot. It had a big gaping hole in the plot that they didn't really address. Well, I say they did address it, but they lampshaded it in the laziest way. Um, and that's the ocean. The magic ocean didn't make sense.
Oh yeah,
Think about
right.
it.
I
And
just kind of
that
looked
was
at that. Oh, this is just Disney magic and stuff, but they never really. Yeah, I see what you mean. They never really explain it that much.
right. And the problem is that they lampshaded it because the character Maui mentions it's like, well, how come the ocean don't help us out? But yeah, they could have done that a little better and make a better job with that.
Yeah,
But
but they do
because
kind
I
of
was like,
hint
wait,
what was
fuck you.
really doing it or who was really doing it, but they never really
But
stated
I
it.
think,
It's kind of like
yeah, you're
implied, but
not
it's
too
kind of like,
scared.
well, you
Not too
don't
sure
know.
because
You can't really say for sure.
but I think if the ocean was helping them out in this way, why couldn't help out in the main story? I didn't really get that. Like to me, if it was up to me, the ocean would just like take the stone, splash the lava monster, and then put it back in the heart, and that's the answer, right? Didn't really explain why the ocean didn't do this. Or even if you're saying, well, you needed humans to to get back the heart to the goddess, then why the ocean didn't help out in like getting rid of the little coconut creatures on their boat, for example,
Yeah,
or help them or like raise up the tide so they could go and climb up the hill a little better or something like that. I don't know.
yeah. But
Um,
it just always seems that if a character falls off the boat, that's when you see
yeah,
this. That's
ocean
when the
coming in
ocean
all the
comes
time,
and does the thing.
and the guy threw the rock away and the ocean fling it right back in his face. I was like, all right, well then the ocean could like solve all the problems now. Now here's the thing: if it was up to me to change the script, what I would have done, because this another thing in the script felt a little clumsy as well. What I would have done is the ocean was basically like the magic carpet character from Aladdin. That's basically what the analogy was. I
Right.
thought it was basically that. And what I would have done is get rid of the magic ocean entirely. And then what I would have done is have the grandmother die, and then
Spoiler alert.
have her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know it was
All
coming.
you do see it coming anyway, so whatever.
Right, and then I would have her reincarnate as a manta ray. So the manta ray was rescuing her off the boat. So every time she fall off the boat, manta ray
Yeah.
help out.
And the thing
But
is,
then
well, good point, because I kind of was thinking it was like that now, but then when I realized it was the whole destiny of Moana to do her thing, that's what I say, oh, that's why the water's doing its thing, you know? But I
But
wasn't
that's so
expecting
stupid
the
because
water to come
he,
and
they
save
should
the day,
they
you know?
should explain, they didn't explain at all like why the ocean didn't solve all the, it had a bunch of problems the ocean could have solved. That was the main issue in the plot for me. And again, either just have the ocean not be a sentient magic ocean, just have it be a normal ocean, have Moana get in a lot of trouble with sailing away, but kill the grandmother first. Then the grandmother reincarnates as a manta ray, help her out. So, and then the manta ray stays out until the end, and then they do the big reveal where the manta ray is the grandmother, because remember she say she want to reincarnate as a manta ray.
Yes.
And that's what I do with that. So it solved two problems, which is not the super magic ocean, and then you get your magic carpet allegory, you know, because it would be a manta ray swimming about, which would operate like a magic carpet anyway in the water.
Yeah. What I
So
would
that's
say,
my
it made for a few funny laugh out loud moments, but other than that, though, I see what I mean.
no,
It
but
could have, yeah.
that's the thing. The ocean was like not necessary at all. No, the ocean was there, and the ocean could have solved so much problem. And I'm saying like because of that ocean, Moana and Maui was that felt largely unnecessary in my opinion. It was never clear why it is that the ocean couldn't have just solved the problems of the monster to solve the big problem, right? Just go splash the monster for 2 seconds and then throw the heart in. That's it.
But that would have been too
Well,
easy, man. Come on.
that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say is that it could have easily solved the problem. That was what I was saying. If you wanted to solve the problem from a plot standpoint, get rid of the ocean. Period. The ocean didn't need to be there. Anyway, it had a great scene with Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords. He played the giant crab.
Oh yes. That was one of my
That's great.
favorite characters.
Kinda
That
deep.
song in
We kind of
particular.
some-
was so great. What
Yeah, it
was
had that kind
another?
of
Yeah, it
kind of
had this
feel
sort
to
of
it.
show tune kind of vibe. So he's kind of singing everything he's gonna do, but that's how the it was just like
It
that
didn't
so
sound like
stuck
David
up
Bowie
kind
to
of
me.
vibe. No, I love that. That was cool.
Yeah, but it sounded like David Bowie in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
a lot of people made that comparison. Yeah, and just
right, and
the
then
sort of
the
glam rock
music
way how it's sung has that
right.
David Bowie kind of style to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and all the art and the animation was great. The chicken was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that really dumb chicken. Probably
Yeah.
intentionally dumb, of
And
course, but it had some. It made some great
I actually
moments.
really like this. I actually really like this. This continues the Disney Renaissance. They do a good job with the material. Um, and I just really, really enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun with it. It's just that big gaping plot problem that just bothered the hell out of me. And I would have just fix that problem. Because it was like a serious oversight on the writers' parts. Because the mere fact the writers addressed it as a lampshading meant that they knew that they fucked up there. But that was about it. I just really enjoyed this one. It does continue Disney Renaissance. Is it better than Frozen? I can't say that. Definitely not better than Tangled, which is still my favorite of the Disney Renaissance. And
Actually, the funniest
still,
of the three, though, in my opinion.
yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty well done. But it's still really good. Good action. Really well. Good. Main character was quite good. I thought she was great. Rock character was pretty good. He had a surprisingly good singing voice as well.
Yeah, of course. That You're
Overall,
Welcome song. Wow.
I'm gonna give what's that?
No, I say that You're Welcome song that he does is like, holy shit,
Yeah,
dude.
that was really
Dwayne
well done. It was
Johnson,
damn
boy,
catchy.
do your thing, bro. Do your thing.
Yeah, and it was damn catchy. And then that animation sequence they had at the coming on to the end where they had this kind of weird 3D Sesame Street looking kind of stop motion kind of something going on there.
Oh,
that was great.
yeah. That was great, yeah. Well, we'll give you a rating now, and then I'll just share my thoughts and jump to my rating.
I will give this an IMAX. I thought it was solid business for me, even though the plot was kind of in a mess. That plot they could have just fixed that one big problem in the plot out of mind. That's the only thing that bothered the hell out of me. But the good totally outweighed the bad for this movie for me, and I had a lot of fun with this.
All right. Well, for me, the plot did not bother me because I was having so much fun with this. What I love though, well, once again with the Disney Renaissance, this was another female character that wasn't looking for a man, or it wasn't a destiny to fall in love with this guy and all that kind of stuff that we've seen in the 90s with, Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and all those, which are still great movies, but oh gosh, it's the 21st century. You don't need that. I love Moana's character. She was strong. She was, I wouldn't say fearless, but she held her ground. She did what she had to do. The actress who did the voice, I'll try to pronounce I'll try to pronounce it. Orly Carvalho. She's like 16 years old, but she was excellent. She was like, I can't say she was. Oh, alright, fuck it, I'll say it. She was like the perfect person to play Moana. She brought so much heart, so much depth to this character, and just off of her voice alone, and the song that she sang. For the life of me, I can't remember that actual name of it, but I know it's gonna get an Oscar nom. That is going to be the Let It Go of 2016, in my opinion. That song that she sung was fantastic, Oscar worthy all the way. Yeah, so I thought that she did an excellent job in terms of the voice, voice acting. I'm hoping that she does more. I won't say voice acting, but I hope she does. I hope that Disney has more stuff for her to do in the future. I hope that she doesn't end up doing some kind of, some TV show, some That's So Raven or some kind of thing like that. I hope that she actually does, or at least be in great movies and stuff like that. Dwayne Johnson, as we know him in, in the wrestling world, as The Rock, proves once again that he is like the best wrestler turned actor ever. Just to think that he would be. I mean, over the years of his career, he has done, some family friendly stuff. It's not like he's gonna do a Fast and Furious movie all the time. He does the family friendly stuff. He you could tell he has fun and he goes 110% into what he does. And I felt that with this one, he didn't disappoint. He went all in. Just bringing life into this character here. And that moment where he sings though, that You're Welcome song, that song just stands out so much to me. Well, actually, all the songs work, but I really love You're Welcome. It really shows that, this guy could sing, though. And, if you're a diehard wrestling fan, you could be like, well, we all knew that The Rock could sing. When he came on the ring every once in a while with the guitar, and he would, sing these blues songs or whatever, we know he could sing back then, but I didn't think that he would actually, you know, showcase it in a Disney animated movie at that, and I thought that he did that perfectly. The other characters were great as well too. I love the crab that that guy, I forgot his name, from Flight of the Conchords played.
Just forget
Gosh, I forget his name though. Yeah, I think it's yeah. The grandmother, I love that character, Moana's grandmother. Wow,
right.
I love that character. And how they handle her was excellent. Just her attitude now, just that I'm gonna live life to the fullest, even though I know I'm gonna die, and you know, because I'm at that stage in my life. But she still, you know, she still loved life though, and I love that about that character. She really stood out to me as well too.
No, yeah, as I said, they could have used the character better to have a better emotional build with Moana, no? Cause you just had her disappear and then come back at the end, and I was like, oh, that was kind of lame.
Yeah, it was real Disney-esque, and that's the next thing I'm gonna mention. I'm not gonna go out of my way to say the show is formulaic, but it does follow that
a little bit, yeah,
Disney animated formula a lot. You know, I'm not talking about the songs and the musical cues and stuff, but just that whole thing with the princess having to, you know, go on this journey and meeting across this character that she doesn't like at first, but then, you know, they become friends and whatnot. And of course you have the ridiculous, you know, animal character as well too, who, you know, you wonder what this character is doing there, and then they kind of help out at some point in time. So it does follow that traditional route a lot, and I didn't really see that much of a problem. I know that some people that probably looking for something different might be turned off like that, turned off by it, like, oh, I wanted something else. But to me, what stood out the most is just Moana's character. I love the fact that, like I say, just like, you know, unlike, you know, other Disney princesses of the past, well, of course, excluding the ones from Tangled and, you know, Frozen, the destiny wasn't about her finding a man and getting married. It was about her saving her village, you know, her actually stepping up, rising to the occasion and becoming something greater. And that I loved, you know, the most about it. So I could talk for long about this show, but yeah, I love this movie. I really want to put this on my top 10. I would love for this to be my top 10. But for now, I'll give this a strong 4 to 5 stars. Definitely check it out. If you love animated movies, see this one. If you loved Tangled and Frozen, yeah, you have to see this movie. If you love that kind of style of animated movies, then yeah, you're gonna have a blast with this. If you're still kind of skeptical, if you're like, oh, I don't know, you know, these movies with these animated movies, I don't like with the singing and stuff, just give this one a try. You're gonna have fun, you're gonna love it, you're gonna enjoy it. Yeah, it's solid.
Oh, sorry, I forget a nice little the post-credit scene in Moana was a nice little callback to old Disney.
Alright, I haven't, unfortunately, I did not see that scene though, but I wish I did though.
Right.
I kind of just stepped out because I had other stuff to do, so I did not see it. Yeah, just like right as you see, you know, Moana, the title, and credit, you start to see starring who and thing, directed by, I just got off. But you know, that wasn't because of the movie being bad. It just I had things to do. But good thing that you mentioned that post-credit scene. So when next I get the chance, I really hope that I do get to see it before year's end. So at least I could say, yes, this is supposed to be on my top 10 list. Then I could see it for myself.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So last but certainly not least, now we're gonna move to TV, because yes, the kind folks at CW, you know, they did this crossover thing, man. We've heard about it for the past few months, and you know, when the news came out, I was like, really? They're actually gonna attempt this? Wow! And
yeah,
they pulled it off last week. So of course, I'm talking about the crossover with Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. Before we get into the whole crossover thing, we have to talk about Arrow, because this, in a way, this crossover is kind of like signifying, of course, the 100th episode of Arrow.
Right.
Yeah. So wow, for 4 seasons and 8 episodes leading up to this episode. Well, sorry, 7 episodes leading up to this 100th episode of Arrow. Wow, the road that literally that they took, well, at least, you know, DC and, you know, Warner Brothers Television took to get this thing moving. But wow, I would just say this because I actually took the time to watch all of the episodes leading up to that, I know that you kind of dismiss Arrow. You don't want to see it because it's, a guy with a bow and arrow fighting crime,
Eh,
whatever.
Arrow just Arrow was never good for me, and I heard it got worse. So I
Well,
was
yeah,
like,
that's what I want to mention. That is really what I want to mention before I get into, this crossover thing. So season 1 and 2 were fantastic, right? They were some of the best in terms of the series thus far. And one thing though, like, just thinking about it, compared it to what Warner Brothers Television did before with Smallville. Like, Arrow just went out of its way to be like, yo, this isn't Smallville, no. This ain't no Somebody Save Me, This ain't that type of shit, This is gonna be some real gritty, in your face, bust people's noses, kick ass kind of superhero stuff that you probably never see on TV before. And with the first 2 seasons, they achieved that well enough, They, of course, you have to kind of go in knowing, it's a TV show, so you have to kind of cheat with some of these CG and some of the emotional moments. Some moments might come off a little cheesy, whatnot, but you kind of buy into it because, it's a comic book TV show, so that's a gimmick anyway, But season 3 happened now, and this was where the fans were divided basically, where they had this great the whole gimmick, the whole plot of season 3 basically was Ra's al Ghul.
yeah,
So Ra's al Ghul was the main villain, and then we had Malcolm Merlyn, who was in the first season, and then it was revealed that he was Tia's, as in Oliver's sister's legitimate father, and all that kind of big twist and all that. And then we got to see the Black Canary and all that kind of stuff, and it was good. But the one thing that stuck out like a sore thumb for a lot of fans was what we call the Olicity gimmick.
right.
This is, of course, the romance between Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoke. But what I got out of it, though, what I actually was impressed by was the actress Emily Rickards, who plays Felicity. I thought that she kind of gave like the best acting that she ever did in the whole series, like thus far. She like outshone Oliver and all too. Was Stephen Amell's character, because he has to be the kind of stoic guy and trying to hold his own, and sometimes some people might be like, oh well, he's being wooden, he's not really acting that much. But I would say that all depends on whoever watching the show. I have no problem with his performance. He is the Arrow in my opinion. There are a couple of times he comes off as wooden, but that's just the character, at least in my opinion. But to me, though, Emily's performance as Felicity always stood out for me. And I let season 3 slide. It didn't quite end the way how I wanted to, but overall it was really decent. And then we had season 4, which many people consider to be the worst of the series thus far. And I wouldn't be one of those who say I wouldn't really defend it, but I do understand why people hate this season. This was where they took the whole Olicity thing and just stretched it to the extreme, though, where a lot of moments were about, and it wasn't really so much about a romance anymore. It was about Oliver really trying to. He was trying to, at first he was trying to distance himself from being the Arrow, but then because of all the drama that was going on in Star City at the time, he had to fill that mantle. He had to be the Arrow again. But then they had all this back and forth between him and Felicity about, why are you doing this for? Why are you making this call? Why are you making this decision? And then she came off really muddly at some points, but then bitchy at other times as well too, and it just made for some rather cringeworthy moments in this season though. And I felt that the villain that they brought in, which was Damien Dark, if you remember him from Legends of Tomorrow, he was the main villain in this one, and I felt that kind of thinking, oh, Damien Dark though, because I see what he did in Legends of Tomorrow. It's like, okay, he gonna do like some real dread stuff now, like what Malcolm Merlyn and Deathstroke did in season 1 and 2 respectively. Nope, he was just underwritten, he was underused, he was there, he did his thing, they brought in this whole magic element, And there was like this decent episode where they brought in Constantine, and I think this was right around the time where the show itself, Constantine, was cancelled from what station had it?
Right.
Was it Fox or CBS? One of those two stations, one of those
I
basically.
can't remember.
Yeah. And that was cool. So they brought in this whole element of magic, and you know, and then they had this whole flashback thing because well, one thing about this series, they also have this flashback to when he was back on the island and how certain things led up to what going on presently in the season. That flashback thing did not work at all. I'm not even gonna tell you what the story is about because it's just a waste of breath, but it just did not work at all. And that's the way how the flashbacks work. Like normally the flashback's supposed to be about roughly a 2 to 2.5 minute kind of sequence before you get back to the real thing. And then you're supposed to leave the sequence telling yourself, oh, I want to see what happens next. Even if it doesn't answer the question in this episode, I want to see what happens next in the next episode. It didn't. It just lasted for like about a minute and then it would just cut to the next scene. And it just does nothing. It just stretches this like story, or sorry, stretches the episode for far too long. And it's just like, yeah, what's the point of this? But this rounds up season 4 in a bit. There's this one scene that stood out the most to me, and like at first when I saw it, I was like, okay, I kind of get what they're trying to do, but at the same time, the execution of it was just really painfully bad. So there's this subplot where I won't say how it happens, where Felicity is unable to walk, so she has to spend a couple of episodes on a wheelchair, right? And then Ray Palmer, actually, remember Ray Palmer who plays Atom in right? So he creates this tech, this chip that you could put in the person's spine to help them walk. So it kind of starts off with her learning, relearning how to walk, right? But she still has to go back to the wheelchair because of pain and stuff. And then this is right after the crossover with Arrow and Flash, where Flash learns that Arrow actually had a son. He knocked up some chick in the past, and then she had this boy, and he finally meets the boy at the end of that Arrow episode. But Felicity didn't know until the moment where where the mother came in and talked about her son's life is in danger because Damien kidnapped him. So right after they save the boy and all that stuff, there's a scene where Oliver he's recording himself like talking to the boy. So he's telling him, well, don't watch this up until the 18th birthday. And yes, I am your father, and I'm also Oliver as well too. Sorry, I am your father, and I'm Arrow as well too. I didn't want you to know because I don't want your family to be in danger. And leading up to that, there was this whole back and forth between Oliver and Felicity as to why he would keep these things a secret and why she doesn't trust him and all that kind of stuff, because he tends to bury a lot of his secrets. And when these secrets come out, there's a lot of mistrust and all that kind of stuff. So,
right.
Long story short, Felicity comes in, she opens the door, she's still in a wheelchair, right? She's seeing Oliver in front of his laptop, talking, doing the video. And then, lo and behold, she gets up off the wheelchair. She can walk. By the time Oliver finishes the video, he notices Felicity getting off of the chair and walking, right? He's like, he doesn't say anything, but you could tell he's surprised now because he was really rooting for her to be better, because he still has feelings for her. He loves her. What does she do? She just says, bye, Oliver, and walks out the room. End. Now, I get what they were trying to go for emotionally, but oh my god, this is just how that relationship itself was handled in this series. That just made that moment so laughably bad. It was just like,
right.
Oh my god, that was bad. That was terrible. But now we get to season 5 here, and what I could safely say is that this season seriously picked up from the mistakes from what they made in season 4. I am loving the season thus far. It kind of returns to the whole grittiness of what season 1 and 2 established. I love the flashback sequences, which is basically where he goes to Russia, where Oliver goes to Russia, because there was this one guy that he met on the island who was part of this Russian mafia called the Bratva. So he's trying to work his way back into the Bratva to find this guy and kill him. And we get to see a few familiar faces. Actually, Dolph Lundgren, of all people, plays one of the main baddies in the Bratva. It makes up for some great gritty moments in the series thus far. And also we're introduced to some new characters. After the request by basically basically it's suggested by Felicity. You know, she kind of encourages Oliver to look for new people. You know, you'll build his own team. So now we have some new characters in the mix. Well, actually 4 characters. One of which is Ragman. I think I can't remember which cartoon I saw Ragman in. I don't know if it wasn't the original Batman animated series, but I think it was the next one or Justice League Unlimited. I'm not too sure, but I know I saw that Ragman character before.
Yeah, I know they have Mr. Terrific in it.
Yeah, Mr. Terrific. He's well. All right. Well, basically, what happened is that Felicity now runs Palmatech. So he is this guy who works. Well, he was like an employee, and then both of them quit because the higher ups realized he wasn't really doing anything. So he just decided, you know what, I'll just work with. He knows the truth about Oliver now. So it's like, you know what, I'll just help you out now. And then he kind of decides, you know what, I'm gonna be Mr. Terrific, because the reason being is because he was inspired by the wrestler Mr. Terrific. That's why he has that jacket on. And on the subject of wrestler, we even get to see Cody Rhodes, who recently in WWE was playing the character of Stardust, and there was this little in-joke where he was kind of distributing this drug, which is called Stardust. So I thought that was a kind of clever tongue-in-cheek moment. But yeah, so we have some new characters here with this new season of Arrow. You even have John Diggle, who returns because he left in season 4, to join the army, but now he's back and he's still playing this Spartan character, which I find was a real terrible name. And that helmet just don't work for me. I don't know why, but he's there. Yeah. We also have Tia Queen. Sorry?
Yeah, all of you make the joke, they call it Magnegro.
Magnegro. Oh my god. But yeah, Spartan was like, really? That's what you could call yourself? Spartan. Because this is the Warner franchise, so we must call ourselves Spartans. That's why I got out of it. And then, of course, we have Tia Queen, who in season 4 decided to, Speedy, do a little bow and arrow stuff as well too. So now she's Speedy.
Yeah, Speedy.
Yeah. So we have all that. So now we have episode 100, and now I could safely ask you now, what are your thoughts on the overall crossover? What are your thoughts on it?
Right. So I've been watching all the other shows DC puts out on television except for Arrow.
Yeah. So I can just give you a crash course as to what happened basically.
Yeah. And I've been watching. I've been watching Gotham, but Gotham don't count.
No, but Gotham season 2 was still excellent. I haven't watched 3 yet, but I will eventually.
I know a lot of people wasn't into that.
Well, what happened is that the first season of Gotham was them trying to figure out what they were trying to be. It was this kind of crime story. It was this procedural thing. But then season 2 is like, oh, this is what we want to do, and then just went in bold, brave, and I really enjoyed season 2. So I haven't seen season 3, but this is not about Gotham. This is about something else entirely. So continue.
Yeah, I'll say that Gotham, right. So that, and I have been really... So The Flash has been excellent from pretty much since day one.
Yes.
For me.
Love season 1,
especially season 1 in particular.
Yeah, and I love how they're doing this Flashpoint thing with season 3. I'm loving that so far.
Right. Yeah, and then season 2 was great, and then season 3 great. Supergirl, solid business season 1, and then season 2 has gotten a little better. Even though it get more corn, but it got better. And then Legend of Tomorrow has been really hit or miss for its first season, but I really enjoyed it for its the second season has really picked up in my opinion.
Yeah, overall I like the show for, although this one was really intentionally supposed to be kind of over the top. It's the most over the top of the 4 series because it's just going bigger and bolder and crazier.
Smart move with Legends of Tomorrow is that they gotten rid of some of the bad characters from season 1.
In my opinion,
the two Hawks pretty bad. And Panther to a certain extent, I thought he was kind of bad too. I thought he was a little bit character's kind of a dummy and didn't really make sense. And he was ripping off Doctor Who a little too much in my opinion. So Rip, they had to Rip. So they had to rehaul the character a little bit.
Yeah, and then like his self-loading as well too. Like when Oliver does self-loading, I could understand, but him is just like, well, why shouldn't have gone in this time, and I shouldn't have altered the timeline like this. It was annoying.
Yeah. So they had to. I hope they rehaul the character, and
he has to come back anyway. But
Anyway, right. So the crossover, they decided to do this real simple crossover where aliens invade, and Flash now has to go get Supergirl to help him out, and then he contacted Legends of Tomorrow to come help out as well to stop this alien invasion because Flash can't do it by himself.
Yeah, that's just a simple bare bones premise.
Simple, not too complex with it. And I thought this crossover is so well done. It's as simple as say the Avengers because it is all about just getting the characters to come together and I get the sense they just want to replicate Avengers.
Especially with how Legends of Tomorrow that climax was. Yeah, that was
right.
very Avengers-like.
They get everybody to come together, and it's all about the characters interacting with each other and meeting each other.
Yeah,
that's it. And then they give a bunch of little side stories, and they address all these side stories. So they had Flashpoint affecting Firestorm, Martin Stein's character.
Yes.
They had, well, it was kind of not really Flashpoint, it was a mix of Flashpoint and his own interactions in time.
Yeah.
Then Barry Abbott explained Flashpoint to everybody. That was pretty good. They had his arc going out. And then it's all about the characters. Nobody cared about the aliens. Not really. They just do a good job of just getting all these shows to link together and make it work. I'm willing to bet money that this is going to be better than Justice League next year. Willing to bet.
I like it. Yeah.
Like the TV people coming together. I thought this crossover was pretty well done. All the 4 episodes were well done. Flash was the best of the 4, from my opinion. But it's still, all of this was still so good. It was such a smart move from a rating standpoint.
Yeah.
It did good thing. And then next week, from the time it's recorded, well, this week at the time of this when it's out, it'll have the mid-season finale for all of those shows.
Yes.
And that is great for the Christmas break.
Yeah.
And that's perfect in terms of timing. They hype it a lot. It get good ratings. It was a solid product, simple. All the characters work together. Supergirl especially, she came in and just make it work totally, and it's funny how she was like so much stronger than the rest. And then they make that point, they hammer home that point about Kryptonians being better. And I love what they do with all the interactions and the characters. Ray Palmer did a great joke with Supergirl, a little quick line.
I love
funny.
that joke. I love that. Didn't see it coming, but I was like, oh, I love that. Yeah.
And it does a solid business for me. I thought it did, again, the DC TV people just, that awkward moment when your TV people know the material better than your movie people.
Yeah.
So, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. And I just was totally into it. I love the whole thing.
Yeah.
Supergirl was kind of superfluous. They just had to justify why she was there. They just do a quick thing, and it made it slightly relevant to the main plot of that episode.
Right.
But Supergirl going okay with its arcs as well.
Yeah.
I thought this crossover was so smart, so well done. You could tell they spending money on it. All the special effects look great, at least for TV.
we have to say that. At least for TV.
Right.
And there are some moments where this is a sci-fi channel kind of shit, but you have to understand, this is the budget and they use it. It's how they use the effects. That's what I always loved about these shows, especially Flash,
Yeah.
But if I'll just share my thoughts on it, right? The one downside to the one thing that I wish that they did better is really set up Supergirl's involvement better in this whole, arc, basically. This whole
it's kind of hard to do that because she's from a different world entirely.
Yes, that well we could argue with that. We could argue that because all we got basically was just there's these breaches that keep popping up now, and it's just Cisco trying to find Kara. Okay, I understand that. Cool. And what I really love, well, especially with that episode with Supergirl and with all the other episodes, is that each and every episode that was involved in this crossover felt like its own thing. Yes, it was all tied together by this one alien invasion threat, but each episode, so Supergirl's episode felt like an episode of Supergirl. Arrow's episode felt like Arrow, and Flash, and so forth. I'll talk about Arrow a bit, the episode 100. I saw what they were doing there, and I thought it was great. What I loved about that particular episode, I know you probably didn't feel it, is that they really was trying to establish why Oliver's doing this thing. It's just I got that, I followed that. It's the journey that led to this one moment there. Just a reminder of, this is what I've been doing for 99 episodes in, and this is the moment where it's like, it's all in now. It's all or nothing, basically. I love that.
If you remember, there's an episode of Batman the Animated Series that's very similar to this, where he wakes up as Bruce Wayne as his parents are still alive, and life going great, and he's about to be married, and then somehow the Batman still exists in this universe,
right?
With him not becoming the Batman, and it's like they totally rip off that episode of Batman the Animated Series.
I honestly don't remember it. I mean, I love the original animated series, of course. I don't remember that one episode, but I'm not surprised that they did rip it off.
I think Hugo Strange put Batman under like a hypnotist or some hypnotic something, and like a dream world kind of thing.
and
Right.
Batman had to figure his way out of it. That's pretty much what happened. But yeah, that episode was so well done, and it made, I got what they was trying to do for the 100th episode, where it was like trying to just establish Oliver as a character, and right, why he was doing what he was doing, especially like the little quick scene they did right when he was going to walk into the portal to escape the simulation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was a real good moment. I could tell that, maybe if it was like a real diehard fan, you'd be crying and we'd be like, oh my god, it's all working. But I saw it, I felt the emotion, but I know it wasn't going for tears, but I saw it, I was like, yeah, I see it. It's convincing. Just not a moment. Like, I guess if it was like real deep, as cry easily, I'd be like, yeah, this is the moment where you're supposed to tear up now. Like, yes, Oliver, this is what it's all about. All these people that were in your life and all that kind of stuff now. But it was a great moment. I really enjoyed that. But back to the Supergirl thing. The Supergirl episode was decent. I like how it continued from what happened before, the whole cyborg Superman and stuff. But I kind of was thinking that the Medusa thing would have had to do with the crossover, but it didn't. That was a letdown for me though. I was kind of thinking it was leading up to it.
I actually thought what I thought they were going to do with that. Remember they showed there's an early episode of Supergirl where they showed the president.
Yes, right. Who played Wonder Woman, original actress who played her. Yeah.
Right. So I thought they was going to do something interesting with that. So, but that didn't link at all. So whatever.
No. Yeah. Right. And then I was like, near the end, I was like, okay, where the crossover coming in? And then you saw, well, of course, when Barry and Cisco finally find her, and then they tell her about what's going on.
Right.
Which is good, but I just felt that, to kind of start this, this is the reason why we have the Supergirl episode in the first place, just to have the last 2 minutes really set up. Everything else kind of could have been, done a little bit better, at least I find. And reason why being is because the whole reason behind this, at least in my opinion, this whole crossover, is for people like, in your case, who would watch 3 out of 4 of these series, but wouldn't care for Arrow. But now, you have a reason why you should be invested in it. So in this case, it was, why should we be concerned about Supergirl now? Now we're bringing in Supergirl into this big universe, or we should call it the Arrowverse. And they could have done that a little bit better. It's just that I didn't like how they just did it in the last 2 minutes. So now Supergirl is now going to be in this universe now. Yes, now you should be concerned about Kara Danvers now, instead of, it's just something that, just a show that moved from CBS and now is on CW. They could have set up her involvement in this new world a little bit better, at least in my opinion. The Flash episode was excellent. I have no quarrels with that. I love how they still really focusing on this whole tension between Cisco and Barry because of what happened with the Flashpoint paradox.
That quite well.
Yeah, I love how that little arc sort of came to a sort of how Cisco came to like this realization in Legends of Tomorrow of all shows. I was like, okay, I didn't expect it to happen there. That was really cool. The Arrow episode I thought was great as well. I like how we got to see old characters, although I was kind of looking for Moira's second husband, the black guy. Didn't see him at all. We saw her first husband, the one who died on the when the ship. He's the one who basically killed himself, who committed suicide so Oliver could live. So the book of names that he kind of started off with, when he went back to the city, that was where it kind of started off with, And so I was glad to see him. I was glad to see Laurel as well too. Laurel, who died actually in season 4. And she was the one who was playing the Black Canary right after Sarah, Sarah died apparently, but then she came back, Long story. But anyway, glad to see those characters as well too. That was decent. And that moment, where it really sets up why Oliver is doing this, and, that was great. The little subplot thing with the other heroes and how they had to work with Flash and Supergirl, that was decent. Although I find this guy, the guy with the hockey mask we call Wild Dog, right? The Hispanic fella, no?
Yeah.
The part where he was like, he don't trust metals because of this, and then lo and behold, this is one chick that they're trying to get some tech from, and then both Barry and Kara had to save his life, and I was like, yeah, now I like metals now. Thank you, yay! It was just a little rush to me. But other than that, though, episode was decent, and of course we could talk about Legends of Tomorrow. which is always the wild card in all 4 of these series anyway. Good. I like the idea of them going back to 1951. It's like, duh, because they have a time machine. It makes sense. Why? Of course they do that, That made for a cool moment as well. Although I felt they could have done something a little bit more with that Men in Black-like character. The guy who they meet there.
Yeah, I thought they would have done more with him, yeah.
Yeah, I thought they could have done a little bit more with him. But other than that, though, the real... Sorry?
He could come back as a villain.
Yeah, I guess that's the idea, that he will show back up in that series as a villain, But, of course, the selling point for everything, really, and for of that particular episode of Legends Tomorrow, was that, we'll call the Royal Rumble, basically. Basically, their recreation of Civil War, but maybe not Civil War, sorry, my mistake, of the Avengers, all the heroes going up against the villains. Sorry, against the aliens. That was a great moment. Right. Although at first when I saw it, like when I saw the scene, I was like, why Speedy not in this? But then I remember from the beginning, the guy who plays Steel. Yeah, Steel, who's part of the Legends now. He dropped off, he dropped Tia back home, and I remember there was a moment where Oliver says, thanks for dropping her back home. It's like, okay, I understand. Right. But you still have Spartan with his guns and his helmet running and fighting and doing this thing. So it's like, why couldn't I have Speedy? I mean, she could fight, she could hold her ground too. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, everybody else who's supposed to be there, I like that. I'm glad that they gave Firestorm some stuff to do. I'm talking about both characters. Right, yeah. I was wondering, how come we're not seeing the 2 of them? We're only seeing more of Martin and this whole subplot with him and, his child, his daughter being this aberration. Is she or is she not? That kind of thing. And that made for a really great moment, and I like how they brought in gosh, I forget her name from Flash.
Killer Frost, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes, and the whole Killer Frost thing as well too, which he was setting up in the season. I like how it kind of came up a little bit in they kind of addressed it a bit in this crossover. That was fine. Right. But yeah, the climax, of course, in Legend Tomorrow was excellent. Of course, the creatures themselves, I wish they could have done a little bit more work, but to me it wasn't really so much about the creatures, it was just their presence, and okay, the heroes have to team up and fight them.
Yeah, that's a quick mention here. So, in my opinion, Movie Bob has a fantastic video called Supergirl is Making It Look Easy or something like that. And he basically explains why the TV people getting the shit right and shit together, and the movie people in a mess.
It's amazing though. Cause look at the I know I keep using this word a lot. Look at the effort that they put into making this thing work. I know it wasn't perfect, but it worked.
No, but they make the point. He made the point. He made a simple point about the characters. It's all about the characters and making it work. You have to give a shit about the characters. Yeah. I don't give a shit about the characters in any movies. All the movies is garbage because of that.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's all about the fighting and the action, and nobody give a shit about that. I don't care about the characters. Man of Steel, they tried to do something there, and that was alright. But Batman v Superman is a complete mess for me. And Suicide Squad.
I didn't talk about Suicide Squad. Oh lord.
Yeah, that 2 of them was horrible. So I don't understand what's going on, but whatever. Point is, this I still willing to bet money that is gonna be better than Justice League next year.
If it turns out to be better than that, oh my
god! I should Justice League. Anything, eh? No, you go Justice League. You go see, you get like a 45 on Metacritic, and you go see get this rubbish score on Metacritic, and then people go be like, "Hey, you remember last year the TV people get a shit right?" Wow.
If that happens, eh?
Oh, another thing that the hangar they had in where they went to meet looked just like the Hall of Justice.
Oh right, the exterior, yes it did. That Star Labs hangar thing, yeah. It did though, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
But
homages and references and stuff that I like, so it's like all the little DC fan shit that I know and love, it was there.
Final point I'll make before I just give a little quick rating. This is what, is characterization. This is why these shows hold out for so long. Even right now to Arrow. I mean, say what I want about season 3 and 4 being weak, but they always had the characters down. Even in the most cringeworthy moments, like what happened in season 4 with, the whole Olicity thing. the characters, because you're investing in characters, because the characters are so well developed, and because you like these characters, you can't help but be invested in them when, you know, some big threat happens, even if it sounds silly on paper. When you see it, and just because of how these characters are well fleshed out, you want to see them succeed, you want to see them win. And then seeing them, you know, duke it out with these aliens is really exhilarating, because you like these characters so much. Like there's no characters actually within the group of heroes that, you know, meet up in this crossover. I can't see there's any that I hate, because they're so well developed, because they're, you know, and of course they're well acted and whatnot. So I can't say, oh well, I hate Spartan or whatnot. I just find that the name is stupid, but because John Diggle is given so much of depth as a character, I can't help but root for the man when he's doing this thing. Like, I'm actually glad to see him in this fight, even though, like I say, it's just him with his helmet just firing two guns, you know. But other than that, because of the character,
Black Widow character.
Yeah, exactly. He was the Black Widow. I just wish that Speedy was in this one, but I mean, you have so much of characters already. Why can't bring in Speedy? She have more experience than Steel. Like, Steel not being there, I understand that, but Speedy, come on. But other than that, though, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was risky. I could tell it was a huge risk he was going for. It was an experiment, but I thought that it worked, you know, better than I expected. I kind of went to like, okay, probably one or two of these episodes might work as much, but all of them did. And what, like I said before, I really loved that each episode of these series felt like its own thing. It didn't detract because of the crossover. There were a couple of moments where I thought they were going to do that, like with the Arrow one, for example, where they kind of went back to where, you know, they kind of cut the narrative, you know, Oliver's narrative, to show Flash and Supergirl doing their thing, you know. But I thought that was going to really detract from the grittiness of Arrow itself now, but it didn't. So that episode felt like an episode of Arrow. And same thing goes for all the other episodes. Supergirl felt like an episode of Supergirl, and Flash and all that. So basically, all I could just say is that, yeah, this crossover worked. What I would say, if the point was to get people to be invested in all four shows, I thought that they succeeded with that one. Although, you know, you could say it has some people that, like in your case, wouldn't care for Arrow. Or some people still wouldn't care for Legends of Tomorrow, still wouldn't care for Supergirl. But I say give all four shows a watch, because they are doing something that, yeah, the Warner Cinematic Universe have been trying to do all of this year and been feeling, you know. Or you could say even before that, actually. But, yo, like I said before, you know, the Warner DC TV people doing their thing, and, you know, it's amazing that they're doing something that they wish they could do on the big screen, but, yo, they managed to do it here. So, if I could give this a rating, I would give this a decent 4 out of 5, man. Give this 4-episode crossover a watch. You're gonna have fun with it. You're gonna have a blast. If this is incentive for you to watch all these 4 shows, then yeah, check them out. You know, even Arrow. You know. But then again, to each his own. Some people might like Supergirl or Flash more than Arrow and, you know, Legends of Tomorrow, because they have a different tone. You know. So Arrow was always the darkest of the 4. And I would say, you know, Legends comes second, and then Flash, and then, you know, Supergirl. So, you know, like I said, to each his own. But still, all these 4 shows are great. I'm glad that they're on TV. I'm glad that they're showing that, you know, superhero shows, TV shows in particular, can be fun, exciting, and engaging. They don't have to be sappy and melodramatic and soap opera-ish. You know, like Smallville, and to an extent Lois and Clark. But yeah, you know, they do deliver. They are very entertaining. They are fun. A little cheesy, but oh gosh, it's superhero stuff, man. You're not going in expecting wonders. So, by all means, guys, definitely check out the crossover. If you haven't, check it out. And what else? If you haven't seen any of these shows, well, you have time until these shows pick back up. You know, after the mid-season finale. Well, sorry, when the season picks back up next year, I believe February or whatever. I think so. So yeah, you have time to check up on all 4 of those shows if you haven't checked them out. So any last words on the crossover?
Yeah, as I say, it's solid. This was really great, solid business for me. The mid-season finale coming up, gonna have for Flash, I realize the only one I'm gonna really be hyped for. Gonna have the old man Flash coming back, Jig, and
that's going to be big finale to take on the big villain, which is a pretty badass villain this round.
Right.
There is a hype for that. That's it. I thought this was great. Loved it.
Yeah, so Warner, DC Television, whatever guys, all the guys, all the writers, Mark Guggenheim and
I made a bet. Yes,
Greg
I made a bet. I never mentioned this show before, but I made a bet with a friend that if Hillary Clinton lose the election, Wonder Woman will be very good now.
I remember you said that, yeah.
Right. So look, the movie people had to catch yourself up, whatever.
Yeah. But Mark Guggenheim, Greg Berlanti, don't just remember the surname. Greg, move ahead. Thank you for listening to the fans. Thank you for giving the fans what they wanted, especially in Arrow's perspective, learning from their mistakes. Even if you go right now and Google it, I think the writers themselves were kind of like, yeah, why we did this whole Olicity thing in the first place, it didn't work. And oh, by the way, I like that what they did with Felicity character, how they gave her a new boyfriend now. He's this police guy working, this policeman basically. But they still have that whole relationship between her and Oliver. So you're kind of wondering if they could ever, meet back up, if they ever start a relationship again. Who knows? But we'll see with the, this season, coming up. But overall, love this crossover. I love the risk that they took with this, and I can't wait to see, who knows if they might do another one like this next year. I wonder if they might bring on like a fifth show and try to, tie that one in. I don't know, but we'll see. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. We had a lot to talk about, but like I say, 2-week break and, December, a lot of stuff to catch up on. So on the subject of that, we have Westworld, which, the season 1 finale is going to be, the night of the time of this recording. So both of us, we're going to take the time, this week to, binge watch all 10 episodes. And we're going to come with a review for that. Also, Insecure, which I didn't even know came to an end. I was expecting 10 episodes, but apparently it's 8.
Okay.
Yeah, so going to watch all 8 episodes, because I haven't seen nothing in Insecure. You keep telling me it's great, but I will be the judge of that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And what else? I can't remember what else is there. Well, a couple of movies. I think there's, none in theaters, unfortunately. So we'll have to look to the dark regions of the net and see what we could find, I guess. Anything you're looking forward to?
What is it I've left just now? Not sure exactly.
Yeah, well, the reason being is because we were supposed to get La La Land down here, but unfortunately we're not getting it because we suck. But we're supposed to get, I believe, is a Train to Busan. That's the South Korean zombie movie, I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Lion.
Buscan, I think the name of it is Buscan.
I think I'll probably go see Lion.
Oh yes, Lion is out. I haven't heard anything about it, so I can't vouch for it. I can't really say if it's anything good or anything like that. We're supposed to be getting Sully. And I don't know, I was psyched for it, but because of the long wait that I had to wait for this thing, I kind of doubt I'm going to actually see it on big screen, unfortunately.
Sully, yeah, I'm not too hyped for it either.
Yeah, when it was out in theaters, like in the States back in September.
Yeah.
But why had to wait till December, early December at least, to see this thing? Why?
That's ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I know, of course, next week is Rogue One.
Well, not next week after actually.
It's December 4th, well...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, the week after, yeah.
Yeah, so we have Rogue One, of course. I would say I'm hyped for it, but I'm going to go in with the expectations that, this is going to be another solid movie.
I expect it to be a solid action movie. Well, I mean, I don't really like Force Awakens all that much, but,
I liked it. I appreciate it. I just find that the whole nostalgia ride and thing was a little too much.
Right.
But yeah, other than that though, really excited for this one. But like I said, let's not go in and like, oh my god, going crazy over this one. So I forgot to mention, music wise, Childish Gambino's album A Week in My Love came out. I haven't listened to it yet, but I am going to check it out. I'm gonna do a review of it. I'm gonna make the effort to actually, take down some notes, listen to it twice like I did with the Tribe album, and then share my thoughts on that. So you can look out for that for the next episode coming up.
I think J. Cole have a new album.
Well, actually, one that's coming out actually supposed to be coming out. I'm not sure if
Okay.
it's this year, but he brought out two videos for it. Love
Okay.
them. One in particular where he took Joey Badass's Waves instrumental, which I absolutely love, and he flipped. He rhymed over that. He made a very good point about Kanye West and how he looked up to him before, and how he kind of fell off over the past few years. A lot of people kind of interpret it as a beef. It's not a beef, sorry, as a diss, but it's just really like constructive criticism, but just in a rapper J. Cole kind of way. But yeah, great tracks if you haven't checked them out. Check them check out the videos and all that too. What else? Well, of course, Christmas is coming up, so I am gonna try my damnedest to try to see, try to compile my best and worst of movies of the year, as well as best hip hop albums of the year as well too, and a couple of other surprises as well. So Ricardo, I don't know about you, but I really encourage you to kind of try to, set up that list of yours, so when time comes, we could actually, deliver something.
Right.
Yeah. And what else in terms of movies? Well, you're not psyched for Assassin's Creed, but I will try to check it out. It's coming out on the 22nd actually, so I'll see if I could check it out at least before we do that year's end review. And maybe we can look out for some other stuff as well too, like I was saying, trying to recap, not really recap, but trying to catch back up on shows that, movies that I missed out. So you could expect a couple of bad movies or a couple of great movies with the next few reviews, or sorry, I should say the next few podcasts leading up to our grand finale. So with all that being said, Ricardo, where can we find you online, man?
You could find me at Rmedy on Twitter. So that is Ampersat, RMEDDY on Twitter. And then you can just type in my name, Ricardo Medina, on Facebook.
Sweet. Well, you can find me on Twitter as well too, under the alias Legally Black MJB. MJB are in capital letters. Also, you can find me on Facebook. Just look for Machibili. And you can also look for a Legally Black official fan base, where you'll find a link to this podcast here, as well as all the other that Ricardo and I have done, and of course the reviews that I've done over the past few years. So we talked a lot, and what I could safely say is that we have quite a lot of stuff to cover this month, but I am psyched. I'm confident we're gonna get through this. So we so you can expect that by the time come by year's end, we're gonna have a solid list, of course, like I said before, for best and worst stuff. So what about you, Ricardo? You have your best and worst stuff in mind, or you have to kind of sit down and figure it out?
I have a list building already. I definitely have a worst stuff. Don't know it to say.
Yeah. I have a feeling what your number one is. I have a feeling it might be a tie though.
Nah. Tie.
Sure.
Our definite most bullshit for the year.
Sure, it's not gonna be a tie. We talk about, right? The two shows. Sure, it's not gonna be a tie, right?
I don't have one show that is definitely fucking bullshit for this year.
Ah, yes. I highly doubt that one might make it to my worst stuff, but who knows? We'll see. So that's pretty much about it, guys. So once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This was Machibili and
Ricardo Medina.
And we are signing off from another episode of Beers, Beats, and Bailey. So guys, take care. Until the next one. Peace.